back to my heart. Can you see how we've come so far? Hope you still come back to my heart. Didn't mean to hurt you bad, only did those things so that I could make a little room for us. I wish on every shooting star that you still come back to my heart. Come back to my, 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 come back to my. Every shooting star, every shooting star, I can make a little room for us. Come back to my, come back to my, come back to my.
Code A, Day2, SOS, Hurricane, Dark, Armani, Pure, RagnaroK. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for day 2 of the GSL Code A. We've got 2 great mirror matchups and then a TVZ that I think is going to be extremely close and extremely dramatic.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool day that we have ahead of ourselves. I think the first match is going to be pretty close as well.
Yeah, I think so.
The middle match, I'm not feeling like it's going to be quite as close. Armani Dark, it feels very Dark favored, but overall, I think it's going to be a much quicker day than what we had on Monday. But still some good sets.
Most likely. Well, Monday was actually pretty damn long, to be totally honest. I was impressed with just the sheer length of so many of those games back to back. Which is good, I guess, because we had that first 3-0 that made it look like the day might be so short that we might not get some good content out of the first day. But today, I got to say, I kind of like it when we have a couple mirror matchups back-to-back.
Yeah,
I know that mirror matchups are not the most popular. In fact, they're the least popular of all the matchups for people to watch. But I always find them interesting, and I always think it is a real test of skill to see how people branch out from the 2 different starting points and how they end up.
Yeah, and certain players are really interesting and exciting in those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's Code S so far. We had Beyond Special and DRG all advance on Monday. So 6 Terrans, 2 Protoss, 3 Zerg. Kind of crazy the amount of Terrans we're getting nowadays.
Yeah, we'll see how much that stays the way it is as we get more and more players in here and kind of see what even the round of 8 looks like when we get further along here. A lot of times these numbers look lopsided and then...
Well, they're especially lopsided right now just because of who's on military duty. No Terrans have left except TY.
That's a very good point.
Well, we've never have a bunch of Zergs in Korea, but like Su left, for instance, right? And a bunch of Protoss left. But don't worry, we'll get those Terrans back in a few years when those youngins, either their wrists are going to give out or they're going to go to the military tasteless.
Yeah, something's coming for them. So today we've got SOS versus Hurricane, Dark versus Armani, and Cure versus RagnaroK. And I think this PvP to start stuff off is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, SOS and his story as a StarCraft 2 pro has been one of great highs and, you know, last couple years, pretty low lows, at least for a 2-time world champion. We're going to see how he performs here today. Again, I think Hurricane has modernized his PvP and his Protoss overall. SOS you can't really count out, but even though he brings out his really eccentric and completely one-of-a-kind play, it's not delivering the same results it has in the past. And that's what I worry about for him.
Sorry, I didn't hear anything. I was trying to figure out if this was a V-neck or a crew neck T-shirt, and I can't quite tell. Sorry, what did you say?
It could be one of these shirts that's neither, but he has like headphones that go through the bottom and just pull it down.
Sure, yeah.
Now Hurricane here,
he's been getting better and better.
he's been improving a lot. He looks a lot more composed in his play overall. He had some rocky performances in the past.
Sure. Well, I think he's had nerves also.
Sure.
But yeah, overall he's been doing better and better. And like, it wouldn't surprise me a lot if he beat SOS. Like, I think SOS is favored, of course, but SOS is also perhaps the most unstable player that there's ever been.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's like he's a two-time world champion. I bet you his professional record is approaching a losing record.
You might
It's probably pretty close. Out of all the champions, I bet you he has the worst win rate.
Yeah, we're going to wait and see if he kind of catches his second win and can come back and become a champion again. But right now, he's not one of the players we expect to get too far. But let's find out as we start our best of 5, Game 1 on Juggernautha.
Team NV, SOS. Hurricane.
So let's see what SOS is going to do. That's how I always start out in SOS cast, especially in PvP. He's got some of the most creative builds, different again from players like Parting or other players who are known to be aggressive or cheesy. Is SOS really is occasionally the most eccentric looking player in StarCraft 2 ever. But then he'll just play straight up sometimes. PvP is a matchup that is extremely circumstantial. There's a lot of different forks in the build orders as far as how you can play. And with all those different openings set up together, you have, I think, probably out of all the matchups, the widest variety of possibilities early on. It can end quickly. It doesn't have to. But let's see what the players have in store. We do have one of the probes for Hurricane actually up on his side of the map, hiding a pylon.
Yeah, and Hurricane actually has not made a second gateway yet, which is interesting. That's not what you would expect, right? Like, there are one gate openers, but they don't normally look like this, where you have like the proxy pylon out on the map. Normally a one gate opener is going to be like walling at a ramp to the expo or something like that. But yeah, I'm not, like, look, there's a couple of depths he made. I mean, obviously he's got a, you see SOS like jotting back towards the wall to see, like, is this, he's thinking to himself, is this going to be a free win when my adepts just get up there because you have to build 3 shield batteries to block them out? Like,
yeah, something's definitely missing from the picture here.
Yes.
And it seems like SOS has the right idea. Now, you don't normally hide the Stargate this far away because this is almost the same distance as if you made it inside your main. In fact, I think it actually is technically further to travel because I think you can get sped up through the middle of the map here.
Oh, maybe.
So again, I might be a little bit incorrect on that, but I believe this makes for an extremely long travel distance. And the fact that this has been found at a moment where I don't know if you would ever want to cancel, it's so far along, but basically you've been spotted. The element of surprise is gone, and this is a much easier game here for SOS to basically react to.
Yeah, he's actually going up to 3 gates now. So it looks like he wanted to do 3 gate pressure, but he's also getting a Stargate. So, you know, obviously he can just like make some Phoenixes. Definitely, it's quite the advantage for SOS having scouted that. But Hurricane is not just going to sit there and do exactly what's expected, right? He's throwing down his own Twilight. Probably will go into Blink, but there are Oracle DT builds from like 6 years ago that maybe he can source an old build.
Sometimes that's the way to do it, man. You just bring out something that's so weird that people aren't really doing anymore. By the way, the probe's peaks. He confirms there's not a second Oracle being made. So the shield battery is going to suit SOS very nicely here. He's got a Stalker. There's going to be a Phoenix coming out here in a moment.
Yeah, this is not going to end up doing anything. And he is getting blink at home, so none of that craziness, even though the DT might have been good here. Just going to fly out and past. Nexus is actually on the way for Hurricane, but not for SOS. Now, Hurricane going to lose a Stalker. He's dead. He's dead. He's not going to be able to take this one.
No, I mean, especially the way that SOS is playing, and even losing the one Stalker. He might have been dead even without losing that, but you have right now SOS leading so hard into pressure, and I mean, I think this Nexus will be forced to cancel. We'll see, especially as the reinforcements come here. It doesn't look mathematically possible to come down and save this. So this is probably going to be canceled literally as it looks like it's about to finish, like so. And I mean, the game goes on. Are there going to be opportunities here for Hurricane? I'm not so sure.
Well, he's going to have blink. That's his opportunity. He's adding a couple gates, so that does make sense that he would want to do something like a 4-gate blink all in from here. Because again, he is pretty incredibly far behind. Now the Oracle flies right into this Phoenix, unfortunately. It would be hard to have more things go wrong for Hurricane this game. But honestly, when he didn't make the gate in his main base, like, if you're literally missing so much that an idiot can tell that there is something out on the map, but this is SOS, who's one of the smartest players, so it's like, well, what did you think he wasn't going to figure this out?
Yeah, no, it was weird, right? This is actually not a particularly complicated concept if you get far enough along at any level of StarCraft. Is when you look in their base, it's not just what you do see that tells you what they're doing, it's also what you don't see. And in a mirror matchup especially, that's the easiest matchup to identify. Oh my god, these two Adepts got him here too. But let me just finish the thought here. I mean, in a mirror matchup, it's very easy to identify that something's missing, or you know, you add up the resources that were spent on both sides. And so, look, I mean, SOS just scouted that side of the map. That's usually the side players hide stuff, and so he found it. And he figured out what's going on, and then to top it off, Hurricane expanded with it. And it's not like SOS was going to be expanding right away after spotting the Stargate. Look, you know he's trying to do something to hurt you early. SOS just moves his army across, punishes, and he's up in a base. Now, Hurricane has a base, but numbers are not on his side right now. And
that's a very kind way to put that.
Yeah. More raw way would be he's super boned. He's
super boned.
This is just not going to go well, especially when the Adepts got it, because that just means workers are going to be killed off.
He's down 7 workers. He's down a lot in army. He's down in tech. Like, I guess he has blink. That's the one big thing kind of working for him right now. But Immortal's being made for SOS. Yeah, I mean, SOS is it's really hard to even think of a way for SOS to lose. I think Hurricane, if he probably his best bet is to rush up to Disruptor right here and hope for a couple good shots and hope he doesn't die before he gets those good shots.
I think that's a really good point. I think getting Disruptors is probably the only way to...
Well, he has Blink, which is half of Blink Disruptor, and Disruptor's already the ultimate comeback unit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that long to get to them. Like, yeah, pretend with your Blink Stalkers like you're going to do something, which of course you can't. And then just rush up as quickly as you can. Okay, he's getting a Forge. I feel like, yeah, +1 is so far away.
Well, it's not wrong to do, but I don't think this is the best move to try to play catch up here.
Yeah.
Now, if he does win, it'll be a couple upgrades later. But we have SOS getting a Forge of his own.
Yeah, taking a third. It looks like SOS will probably just do like a mass push. And I think the third Nexus, that's the insurance for his play. Like, even if he doesn't kill him with the push, which he absolutely should, he has a third Nexus, so who cares?
Well,
he's still way ahead.
This is a game where there were enough things that went wrong for the red player that the blue player can actually get ahead in a couple different avenues. Which isn't how most pro StarCraft games go, but this one was bumpy enough that that's what's going to happen. He's getting his tech ahead. He's got more army. He's taking a third, and we see the third being taken now for Hurricane, and that's basically the trigger point to signal that to SOS, okay, it's time to attack now.
Yeah.
Because everything, when you math it all out, SOS is ahead. Now, even I think with good control, it's going to be hard for Hurricane to recover here.
Well, he's making a disruptor now, but I feel like he did delay that a bit more, right?
Well,
like he could have gotten that quicker. Instead, he opted for a forge. So this is going to be like a kind of tough hold for him, but let's see what he can do. He is at a shield battery.
Yeah, the force fields are serving the Hurricane pretty well here. I'm sorry, he has a Warp Prism with us, or does he not?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, there it is. So maybe Hurricane stays alive a little bit longer, but SOS just needs to come in here and destroy this base at the top. Now, SOS left the Warp Prism alone, not bad. But again, the Nexus goes down. Do we just have a recall here, or maybe even a fight?
Well, he has the disruptor, pushes him back. Not the best disruptor shot, to be honest. Of course, he did get that third base canceled. But, you know, Hurricane, he got into disruptors, which is really good. Again, I think that the fact that he went like Forge and +1 and he made it he made an Immortal before, I still feel like if he had rushed directly to Disruptor, there's some small chance that third Nexus doesn't get canceled, but probably does anyways.
So he's going to come down through the south now and try to put some pressure on here. We'll see how well it actually works. The third base is being reclaimed here. Hurricane in a constant state of trying to play catch-up. Of course, all going back to the early parts of this game. The +1 attack does finish here for SOS, so he's now even as far as attack upgrades to his opponent. There wasn't a very wide window at all between those upgrades either.
Double Templar Archives, by the way.
What?
SOS went double Templar Archives.
Oh, is that the second one that just finished there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But there's actually 5 Disruptors out now. He does have Phoenixes to help counter that, but just gets it.
That was so close.
Yeah. Damn. If that was like, seriously, that was so close to going off and getting a rich hit.
I almost want to say under a second from popping.
Oh, it was certainly under a second. It was so close.
And he's going to come in from behind. Force field's coming down. This is going to box out a lot of SOS's army here for protecting the Nexus, but a blink in here and shots fired over the Stalkers to kill the Disruptors, picking up one with a Phoenix. A big warp in of Zealots over here to the side.
Yeah, pretty clean finish here from SOS.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
Hurricane's well, he's been dead for a very long time. But
yeah, he pretty much lost the game, 5 minutes ago, but we've watched it play out. It is a good lesson in making the proper decisions early. So many players will look at games like this and be like, well, how am I supposed to stop his army when it's that big? That's not the problem. The problem is what happened earlier and why you're in this position that you're in right now.
You've heard that thing where like a chicken can live with its head cut off for like 3 days or something?
Not 3 days.
Is that what you're going to argue with me over the 3 days? How long is it?
I think a chicken can run out with its head cut off for like 30 seconds or 3 minutes or something, not 3 days.
Really? We're going to look that up.
Artosis, you think a chicken can live with no head for 3 days?
I'm going to check it. How long can
I can't even believe
chicken live?
You think you cut a chicken's head off and it just walks around and it flutters its wings with
18
no head?
months! Tasteless! Look at you!
Give me your phone.
God.
The answer is...
One of us is not a chicken scientist.
The chicken can live without its head for 18 months?
Yeah, tasteless.
No, this isn't. No, that's what happened. Okay, here we go. I got the recipe. Here's what happened to the famous Miracle Mike or Mike the Headless Chicken in 1945, Colorado, USA.
That's right.
Artosis, give me a chicken. I'll show you how long it lives when I cut its head off.
Well, you got to leave a part of its brainstem, but regardless,
Team NV.
the point of this...
SOS.
The point of this is that Hurricane was a chicken with his head cut off. He was behind in every single way, and he technically lived. And honestly, he got up to Disruptors, which was like...
Hurricane.
I feel like he went down a good path there. It's just...
The problem with your metaphor...
SOS was very clean.
The problem with your metaphor is that he didn't last long enough. I mean, 18 months is a long time. We should have had at least an hour game there, and if that was the case, Artosis...
Well, that's why I thought I was going for 3 days, but you're at 3 minutes, and then we got to look it up, and it just ruins everything.
By the way, on this map, a lot of interesting stuff can happen in PvP with the little bridge area on the bottom. Lots of good places to hide stuff up here at the top. I have thought in PvP this might be one of the maps where it actually is a good idea to take a hidden base, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because of scouting paths and stuff like that. hidden bases aren't as strong in StarCraft 2. Mostly because people expand so quickly that it gets pretty clear what bases you need to look for when they're growing on the map. But I do think this is one where you could sneak a base, let's say a third base or something like that, at the top center, the top right, top left.
Again, with one gate for Hurricane. SOS is going for the one gate, but it's the type I was talking about before where it's on top of a ramp to an expansion. And that's actually a more standard way to play. You'll probably see a lot of times what happens there is you fast expand, then you can make a second gate afterwards, and you're kind of on stalker battery holding on against everything. Here with Hurricane, like maybe game one was to prime this game. I'm not entirely sure. Because he hit a pylon here as well, but he doesn't actually have tech there. Stargate on both sides. Kind of interesting, right? This is not at all what I expected to see.
Yeah. Stargate versus Stargate can be kind of funny here. You got to see, are they both just going to go for Oracle, or is somebody going to be able to blind counter the other one?
Yeah.
Because here, when we have this probe come in for SOS and Scout, I mean, you look at this and you go, oh, okay. Well, I know it's good against air units in PvP.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And throws down the Twilight here as well. So
yeah, I don't think the Twilight was spotted by the probe, though.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Our pylon is under attack.
I just want to go back to this chicken thing. I just want to, like, give you 10 chickens and have you cut their heads off, and we see how many die almost immediately.
Well, some of them will.
Yeah.
You got to cut it just right. Like they need the brainstem to stay intact.
Where do you think they got to slice it then? Like near the top?
Yeah, like you're cutting. I mean, this is getting pretty gruesome, but yeah. You got to like. You're cutting off the head. Like, you need the neck hole, obviously, to put food and water down.
Not your average beheading here. We can't have this done by a guy with an axe and a black cloak over his head.
I think that's what happened to Magic Mike. Is probably right. They were going to kill him, and then he just kept running around. And like, honestly, his personality probably didn't change that much.
And eventually, somebody said, "We can make money with this."
Yeah. Okay, Oracle coming out here. SOS, despite scouting the Stargate, makes an Oracle and sends it the long way around, and now is making a Phoenix.
Well, I like this, actually. He sends it all the way around because the Phoenix scouts, it's not going to be here to protect this, and he can actually come in from the side. There's no battery here, by the way.
Yeah, the Stalkers are a little bit out of position.
He just does damage and then probably recalls away if he gets stuck.
Yeah, gets 3. He's going to lose it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, he misses a shot there. All right. Not the greatest, not the worst.
It seems like the movement of the Oracle got a little bit staggered there.
Yeah, now Blank Twilight coming up here for SOS as well. Pretty even, I would say, overall. SOS, of course, with that Observer. He has his Robo up. And I'll be interested to see, because this game, Hurricane is not massively behind like he was in game number 1. So will he still go into Disruptor tech from here? Like, is he a Blink Disruptor guy, right? Like, it seems most people don't go Blink Disruptor, but only will utilize that to come back from hard situations. Like, I mean, Disruptors are very common, but it's kind of easier to go, like, some Immortals going to charge and things like that first, and then go Disruptors a bit later if you want to. Let's see if he's a Blink Disruptor guy, because that's a whole classification of Protoss players.
Yeah, a weird style to play with. I was about to say that SOS is going to shut down the pylon that was going to warp in, or you'd be used as a launching pad for attacks, but he actually saves that pylon at the last second. The pressure's now on. Battery's being thrown down here as the Phoenix picks up and nullifies some of these Stalkers here. Probe sent down here to try to defend. It just doesn't look like SOS has very much here.
Now with that Blink done as well, he's using the overcharge, but look at this. They don't even care. They're just targeting down the battery.
There's another battery about to finish, though. And I think SOS may have bought himself enough time.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he needs another warping round to feel safe, but if he targets down the weaker Stalkers... Oh, hold up.
No, where's no more
hold on,
warpings.
Immortal.
Yeah, but it's a little tiny bit late here. If you still had 3 more Stalkers with this, so much better.
Well, if
Does
he
have
gets
a lift
down to where the battery is, he's fine.
Yeah, I guess no lift slot for Hurricane as well.
I think so.
Because like one Immortal with 1 Stalker, the Phoenix just takes care of that if you have that 50 energy.
Right, but I don't think he does.
Yeah, no, it's empty now.
So there's plenty warping in, even putting a gateway here to basically plug the entrance, where if you're going to use Blink, you better commit. Enough damage there causes it to cancel, but the whole idea here for SOS is to just buy time.
We're continuing to warp in. Looks like SOS has done a very solid hold here. Hurricane does have his third Nexus start as well as a Forge. Really like to see that. Very nice. Prism on the way here for SOS.
Yeah, I like the expanding behind this. I think it's very good. There's a
Yeah.
Warp Prism coming out now. Now, there are no Immortals in this game right now for Hurricane.
No,
So-
he's more gateway-centric here, it looks like.
So we could have a counter push. Warp Prisms are going to be coming out here. There's a Dark Shrine coming as well, which really puts a lot of constraint on the defenders here for Hurricane, because he wants to get Immortals and Warp Prisms to deal with his own. But DT's in the back pocket here for SOS could be something that Hurricane's just not ready for.
Yeah, Hurricane, we don't actually see an Observer, right? Yeah, he's playing a little bit blind there as far as detection goes. It gives him a lot of added power. And I think looking at what SOS has, you're not really expecting DTs right now. Like, DTs as a mid-game tech is not very trendy. But, yeah, that could work out very, very well, huh?
Well, the Observer here to
He
spot
just doesn't
as well.
have a Robo. He doesn't have an Oracle?
Dude, this is going to happen.
He doesn't
in
have a
PvP.
cannon?
Yeah, he just... You can always skip the Robo and maybe get ahead, but those Robo units are extremely important later on. And it is tempting to skip the Observer when you're that far along as well. And this could be where the DTs are just going to absolutely crush.
All right, well, a couple of Sentries losing their life there. Looks like the Nexus might be forced to cancel. But you know what? As long as he kind of keeps him a little bit busy. Oh, the Robo is about to finish. A cannon is on the way. Here comes the DT. Just one so far. Okay, there you go. 4 DTs, 5 DTs. This is the way to do it. I mean, if he finds the Robo and right-clicks on it, this game's basically done.
Yeah, he's going to go for the Nexus. An easy grab here.
Yeah.
This is annoying, man. We don't have the Observers out yet. Oh, that's funny. It'll still go down, I think. Wait.
Yeah, he has to recall. I can't believe he didn't get that.
I can't believe this.
That's insane. Wow. 86 health. That's just a couple DT swipes.
Well, he can make
them
them Archons, I guess, so. There's that. Hurricane playing a good game,
That's
though.
crazy. The 2 force fields?
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work as well as it did. And then the DT swipe sound stopped coming, and I thought, huh.
Yeah.
Now,
Good on Hurricane. That's crazy.
he's shuttling one more DT over. I think he wants to try to sneak one back in there and finish what he started. In fact, it's going to fly right over here. First, the Observer gets caught. Oh, does not send that in.
Oh, man. I'm feeling bad that he didn't get it. I guess, realistically, you probably are going to throw a battery down there and heal your Nexus, right?
That would make sense.
I would be surprised if he did not do that.
Everybody's had those games, though, where there's like one building you're trying to kill, like a Nexus or a Command Center or a hatchery, and you attack to do it a couple times, and it becomes this weird sunken cost fallacy where you're like, I just got to send something there to get it, and you don't get it.
Everyone has had those
Everybody's had that.
where you're just sending and sending, and you're like, I have to kill
Yeah,
it.
and then eventually, that's why you lost the game, was you hemorrhaged so many units in this weird fight when you should have just played it out normally.
I've done the most insane, gut-wrenching things to try to kill off a Nexus that didn't die, Tasis. I know all about this feeling.
Now,
SOS, though, he's showing restraint. He's not going after it anymore.
I think it's an Immortal, and I don't know what else is in this War Prism, but
Zealots, maybe?
Zealots it is, coming in here to attack. Oh, and an Archon, actually. Not a bad idea with all these workers that are over here. And Hurricane's basically putting a real dilemma here. In SOS's hands, he has to try to figure out how to protect both his main while also staying safe in his natural. And in his third, the gates, the Robo are unpowered now, and this is an extremely strong spot that Hurricane's managed to set up.
Well, SOS just picked off the incoming Observer, so he's actually using DTs to clean up. So he will end up cleaning it, but a lot of lost mining time, a lot of lost production rounds here. That was a very high-quality Warp Prism harassment from Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane pulls back, so SOS stays behind. The game's not over, though. This is still somewhat close. Now Hurricane taking his 4th here and taking the 4th base closer towards his opponent. Not taking a defensive 4th here at the top side of the map.
This really looks like a Hurricane victory. I'm trying to figure out how SOS can come back. And, like, I guess for SOS, he does have 3 Immortals against none. He has 4 Archons against 1 right now. So the overall quality of his army is a bit higher. But, you know, he's had a hard time keeping up with production. He's down like 20 supply. It feels like Hurricane can easily continue to take bases and, you know, get that giant flood of Zealots going perhaps.
I like this counter-attack here with the Stalkers. Hurricane's really controlled this game way better than the last one.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely looked like a much bigger threat. Again, it's too bad SOS didn't get that Nexus, but even then, I guess if you see the sentries coming, you got to know you should micro some of the DTs to the sides there. When they're all bunched up like that, it can be pretty bad. Big win there, though, for SOS. Does take out some of those Stalkers, but even with this War Prism and everything else, Hurricane set up enough positional plays where he's bought enough time to continue to grow on his side of the map. I don't think a counterattack here from SOS is going to be very strong at all.
No, it doesn't seem it quite yet. But you know what? His Zealot count is like bridging the gap a little bit. If he waits another couple rounds, that many Disruptors, though. How are you going to actually counter that with this army?
This area is pretty boxy with little slow areas set up over here.
Dude, yeah, the Disruptors are just going to change everything.
Yeah, well, you can just chuck out Disruptor shots. It does seem like SOS wants to force the issue here. Now, you got to watch out. Sometimes these Archon and Zealot engagements, if you just get the right surround, end up doing such an insane amount of damage. This time,
yeah.
This time around, though, it doesn't seem that SOS has enough. GG Hurricane takes game 2, tying the series up 1-1.
Yeah, he did a great job that game. Didn't get way far behind at the beginning. Played a very clean game from there. Saving that Nexus was super, super clutch. I actually think the DT move was fantastic from SOS.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, there's a little bit of luck there. It's like, that's not what you do. Like, when DTs get in your base, you don't really have your detection ready. You don't go, it's okay. What I do is I save my Nexus when it only has 2 swipes left on it.
Yeah.
It's
clutch
like, wow,
moment.
that was a big moment for him. And that really allowed him to go ahead and take that.
We're going to go to Romanticide now for the 3rd game. We'll find out which player actually catapults ahead in this best of 5. The winner of this series is moving on to GSL Code S right now. Tied up 1-1, SOS vs Hurricane, continuing on. We almost ran out of show music there. Did you see that happen?
Yeah.
Team NV, SOS. Hurricane.
Kind of hoping that we get a base trade coming up. I feel like it's not an SOS series if you don't have a base trade in it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that makes him so special. He's so good in these kinds of moments. It did seem like in that last game, SOS had a lot of pretty good ideas, honestly, but he didn't execute it very well. The Oracle going around the Phoenix scouting
That was cool.
was really smart,
Yeah.
except that it got killed. And the DTs going into the main to kill the Nexus was really smart, except that it didn't kill the Nexus. I don't know if that's why he lost, but we just should point out there were a lot of really good ideas at play that backfired due to execution.
Yeah, and you know, like you don't know for sure. Like, is he going to have Stalkers in his main? Is he going to have them elsewhere? You kind of have more intel than him, right? So he's kind of taking these things that are risks, but they're like some risk and really high reward, and he just didn't get the reward on both of those moves that you just pointed out. So a bit unfortunate there for SOS, but I think the theory behind what he was doing was super good.
So in this game, looks like we have one player, SOS, intent on expanding. Doesn't mean Hurricane won't, but the building setup, unless SOS is doing, you know, some 400 5D chess IQ moves. Okay, just gonna go for it. Now there is a probe also sent down to the bottom left. Is that a pylon that was made there? Is there actually nothing there? On the mini map, the bottom left of the.
Yeah, that's a pylon.
Okay, but there's no probe still there, right?
No.
Okay.
He did that last game as well.
Yeah.
This game he actually went for 2-gate as opposed to the 1-gate opener. Now a robo coming up. Oh, 1-base robo from Hurricane. We don't actually see that very much anymore for whatever reason. It's well, it's not a proxied robo, so it might just be like a 3-gate prism to try to push this down.
Yeah, that could be. This was something we had years and years ago. Not all the time, but it would crop its head up. And let's find out how effective it's going to be. There is a forge coming down here, which it's weird because usually, you know, when you see a forge, you think, oh, you can make cannons, but generally it means you're just getting upgrades.
Yeah.
So a forge actually means in this matchup a lot of times you're really not that safe. You don't have the extra comfort because you're not in a rush to make any cannons at all in this matchup because it just costs the same price as a gateway, which of course a gateway gives you more value later on. So maybe SOS is going to be weak to this.
Well, he just scouted exactly what it was. Yeah, I was just going to say he needs to make a void right here if he wants to hold a cannon as
this
well
is big.
defensively.
Okay. So he will get the cannon. Yeah, because he scouts it.
And this is really funny. Look at this. He's making the prism, and then he's also going for disruptor tech. This is a very kind of interesting move. And that's a hidden disruptor tech as well. So that's something you're not going to expect. It's very rare that we see 1-base disruptor.
The robo is all the way back home, so the disruptor can't get with the rest of the group as easily.
That's very
Unlike
true,
most other attacking tech where, you know, it can just be reinforced with the fight.
So you got to proxy a Nexus and recall it over,
That's the only way.
All right, he's got 2 Adepts in the Prism right now, walking up with the rest of the Stalkers. I think that SOS has given himself a pretty good opportunity here to hold. Like I love the Void Ray defense, the cannons. Those are going to buy him time, which is what he needs, really. He just needs to buy some time here, stack up those Void Rays a bit. Now this is beautiful, though. This was not expected. What an interesting opening here from Hurricane.
Yeah, great play here. And actually gets both the Adepts out, killing off 3 probes. The army of SOS comes back to deflect, but already the War Prism is pulled away. There's a disruptor being made that we were talking about, but again, the travel distance is as long as you could imagine a disruptor having to travel on this map.
Yeah, with a Hussein Phoenix going out, he might even see it before it gets there, which is going to be big. And honestly, Void Rays are going to do all right against that. Now, the Adepts come back in. They don't quite get the damage. Good pull there from SOS.
He spots it. Now, the issue is that if Hurricane doesn't do damage, and I mean more damage than he's already done, he's kind of scratched him a little bit, but he needs to do quite a bit more. Basically, SOS is ahead.
Yeah.
And right now, SOS doesn't look like he's anywhere near close to taking more damage at all.
I really like SOS's position here. I'm actually more fascinated by Hurricane's build overall, but SOS sitting here with multiple voids. Oh my God, that's it right there.
Damn. That is all she wrote, I think.
Yeah.
You have to see a big sigh there from Hurricane.
Yeah, no, you cannot lose that. He was actually getting prism speed and making another disruptor. He canceled both.
Yeah.
As those Void Rays gunned it down, but like his expansion is infinity later. Look at this, 40 workers against 26. There's 4 voids out. He doesn't have blink. He's only got stalkers. SOS is invincible against this.
Yeah, it was a pretty sharp build that Hurricane did, but it's one of these openers where if you don't do the damage, you're so screwed.
Yeah. He just didn't quite get it. It seemed cool, but like you don't really expect this type of, the fact that he could make cannons and Void Rays. Like, who goes 1-gate expand into Forge Stargate, you know?
Stalker's coming back.
Look at that. Forces the recall. He can easily take his, third base if he wants. He can go Mass Gate.
He can recall these back easily. And, just expand. Everything is
He can do anything he wants.
And so a very disappointing game here from Hurricane. He just wasn't able to do the... pull off the strategy that this is all built around. But SOS had very good handling, very good scouting and reaction speed as well.
SOS now, after he kills that observer, goes for Dark Templar tech.
Oh, that's smart.
Protoss Protoss Mind Games 101, man. You kill that observer, insta throw something down.
It's so funny because we see, disruptors being made, but yeah, a lot of times the observer gets skipped, even though you need to have one.
Yeah. And you're not going to send it back across. I mean, he has Voidery Observer. It's not like he's not going to get it.
Right.
So the DTs definitely can be useful. You can make them into Archons. Prism on the way here, just popping out for SOS. I love that his Voideries, he actually just left there like they're a Liberator.
Yeah.
You know?
He could just use them later on. If he sees too many Stalkers attacking him at home, he goes in there and nukes the Nexus.
Yeah. I mean, he can just turn them on and kill basically anything in a few seconds.
Yeah. Looks like he tries that. And he'll save 2 of those, one at pretty low HP.
Hurricane making some disruptors right now. Has that 3rd Nexus started. Of course, he's a bit late on that. Blink Disruptor for him once again while being very far behind, which is, again, never a bad idea. Really, in just about any matchup, that's your ultimate comeback tool, you know?
So there's one DT coming through. Oh, hold on. Is he going to spot this? Okay, the observer turns around. Oh, this is funny.
Well, DT goes in the main, though. Ouch. DT's, I mean, doing a little bit of damage. I think this did fine for him.
He's going to save this one, too. Oh! Almost.
Yeah, that's funny. He, like, misclicked that, because if the DT walked to the edge, he would have saved it.
That was about to be, like, the ultimate spy. DT comes and assassinates a few probes and then gets out again.
Yeah. At that point, you got to start really treating him well, like get him blink and stuff, so he can do it again.
Yeah. Okay, so with all these little back and forths that we've had, SOS has gained a pretty impressive lead here. He leads in worker count, army supply, and tech overall. Now, I don't know if in this game, SOS thinks it's worthwhile to try to attack into the 3rd base or to simply wait and maybe almost try to play an easier game, one where maybe you're more invested in them trying to take a 4th and you just stopping that.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but as you let the disruptor count kind of grow and as you let Hurricane get into a bit more, I feel like it could become more difficult. But if you look at his army right now, it seems like he has 1 Phoenix for each disruptor, plus the Void Rays, plus charge and 3 Immortals. I think he can very likely go kill him, but he might feel better just kind of sitting back and building upon this lead some more as well.
SOS still combing the map, confirming there's no hidden bases, no extra pylons, no opportunities at all, furthering his lead that he already has.
And SOS looks like he's going to be going into carriers.
Now this is going to be big. How many can he actually kill off? Gets 5, not bad.
Yeah, that was all right. And he gets a couple warping units as well.
Kind of a weird engage there. Hurricane definitely not watching that army for some of that. Phoenix is going to come in here and try to scout this.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, Phoenixes are fast, man.
He knew he wasn't going to get that.
I think he just might as well, right? Maybe the shields don't fully regen the next time you have a fight or something.
I think you can't help yourself. It's just like such a juicy target, you know?
Yeah.
It's like people who throw up the force field, and when it's not going to do anything when the sentry's about to die, they're just like, well, I have to spend a mana.
They make that one force field that it goes right in the middle of the army. It pushes everything aside. It doesn't help in the fight at all.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Things going from bad to worse here for Hurricane.
Yeah, a lot of stalkers here picked off. They'll have to be filled in later. A mothership even on the way.
Oh, yeah. This
2
is the way to do
carriers.
it. Look at this. SOS is just like... This is, I think, this game is maybe the epitome of when you get ahead, get more ahead from SOS. It's just like, and look, there's literally Colossi being made for Hurricane. I can't think of a worse counter to carrier than Colossi.
Yeah, this is this is pretty bad, man. Yeah, look, I think SOS knows he has to play. basically a safe game. Now, with the 4th base being taken in for Hurricane, that should be the signal for SOS to maybe try to take his lead and actually close it out.
If Hurricane doesn't figure out that there's carriers before he has them all out, like if you attack with like 5 carriers that are cloaked and then whatever else you have is like 12 blink stalkers and 2 Archons supposed to stop that? I'm not. Serious question, guys.
It's a death ball I don't think you can stop.
No, probably not.
It's one of those features of the game where it's like, you don't talk about how do you stop that. You say, you should never let them get this far along.
Yeah. Or yeah. You better have something similar or you are already dead.
Yeah.
That is quite the army. You don't see this all that often. Once upon a time. So yeah, the anti-air here is like 14 Stalkers, 2 Archons for Hurricane. Hurricane is getting close to max. Like he's continuing to work on upgrades and things like that. More Stalkers, more Archons. Right, he has Disruptors and Colossi, so he can actually kill a ground army very, very quickly. But the air army can just straight beat everything he has, especially when 3 more carriers pop out.
And this also allows SOS to expand even more. But I think we're going to build up to an attack over here in the lower left quadrant. Keep in mind those Zealots are still waiting to try to dive in over to that 3rd base. And so it seems like Hurricane's ready to go. A lot of Colossi here, but a lot of these targets in this death ball they can't really touch.
You see him open his mouth, he's like, what? Here they come, the Golden Armada.
Oh my gosh, slowing down this area here now.
That time warp, one of the best we've seen because we never ever see it. Yeah, I mean, this air army just...
This is a pretty smashing.
Yeah. Carriers are pretty sick.
Oh yeah, GG, SOS wins that game about as hard as you can win a PvP.
Yeah.
Played a much cleaner game, covered all of his bases very well.
What an interesting opening from both sides.
Yeah.
The going into the Forge and Stargate after the 1-gate expansion, the hallucination showing him that he was playing against 3-gate Robo, then he went Cannon, Shield Battery, Void Ray, which was an awesome choice. And then the interesting things that Hurricane was doing is dropping off the 2 Adepts in the main base, putting the pressure on the front, going into Disruptor. Unfortunately, Void Ray kind of counters all that, but that was a really interesting one. I enjoyed that one.
2,000 atmospheres for the next map. Hurricane, he had that aggro build. It just didn't work. I don't know if that's even why he lost, though, in that specific game. It did seem like people brought the game to 2 very different endings there, and SOS was much stronger. Let's see what happens in Game 4, guys. We're ready.
Team NB, SOS. Hurricane.
So, yeah, that game, I think, from SOS again, I think it was one of the best examples we've ever had of when you get ahead, get more ahead, because I was talking about how he probably could have gone and killed Hurricane, right? When he had 4 Voids, 3 Phoenixes, Charge Lot, 3 Immortals, and a couple Stalkers in there. That army against 3 Disruptors and like 12 Blink Stalkers, you probably go kill them, right? Maybe things go wrong and the game can get evened up, but the way that SOS played it, he went into a strategic checkmate where there was simply no way for Hurricane to do anything against him.
Yeah, he completely zoned him out of any kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
Any kind of out. There just wasn't any.
And that type of thing, I think, is harder in a lot of ways to do than going in and trying to kill your opponent. I think most Protoss will go in and try to kill. But if you can do what SOS did, like you saw it, like at the end, there was no chance for Hurricane. Obviously, he should have scouted a bit better and everything, but he was not going to catch up on the air army. That was not going to occur. And so, yeah, beautifully done by SOS. That was really, that was an excellent course in that, you know, that get more ahead idea.
I think if you look at what Hurricane wanted to do, I think he thought that SOS might try to almost cut corners, like go 2 gateway heavy or something. And that with the Colossi tech, and that was a abnormal amount of Colossi.
Yes.
We don't really have those.
You never see 6 Colossi anymore.
Was it 6? I thought it was 5, 6?
5 or 6.
So, like, that's made to plow through Stalkers.
Zealot Archon, like, you're
yeah,
gonna
just
destroy.
Nuke that. And we've had Zealot Archon used a decent amount, and you know sometimes it's a game where it's like, okay, this guy's got the Robo tech, and the other side's got the Zealot Archon tech. But I mean, talk about a tech judo flip there from SOS to actually have carriers. And we saw Hurricane's jaw drop, like, oh God, wait, is he not going to see that?
Of course not.
You know, I just feel like this happens so much.
It happens so much. That's why you feel like that.
Because it just seems like, shouldn't you just like always have the vision of the probe go just enough so that you can spot a building the shape of a Stargate there?
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely, yes.
Like you're not really saving that much time in the long run. So kind of surprising to see that
Honestly,
happen.
if we had like a bunch of full-time coaches and like KESPA teams and stuff, I bet you that would not happen anywhere near as much.
Okay,
I can't believe what I'm seeing here. SOS literally walks up the ramp against 1 Stalker.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant. 2 probes, lost mine in time, and the Stalker, and all that intel. That was great.
Now Blink's coming here for Hurricane. It is also, I mean, they're both going quick Nexus on either side, but let's see.
Yeah, it's such a funny thing because that's like, it's Hurricane's proxy on Hurricane's side, which is the Twilight tech. PvP can be crazy sometimes, that's for sure.
There's more variables, there's more stuff going on in early game PvP, and it can make every game so different.
You see that Stalker dance?
Yeah.
It's exactly back and forth. It was like the dance scene from A Knight's Tale.
I actually wonder now, I think we're going to have an attack here from Hurricane. If the Robo's going to come along, and I think that there's a chance that SOS isn't ready, but even if SOS is ready, I don't think this is a game where Hurricane is super screwed if he isn't prepared.
Oh, totally. He has a slightly quicker blink here. He's disguised it quite well. Oh, look at that, though. Hurricane also gets 2 Adepts in, so getting some additional damage. This is quite the back and forth series stasis, because this game is looking very good for Hurricane right now.
Yeah. That's a lot of kills early on. 6 probes like that.
Yeah, it's huge. There's 28 probes against 33 right now.
The fact that SOS is probably going to be compelled to make a lot more probes right away to try to play catch-up means this follow-out attack could be a lot of damage here on SOS from Hurricane.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it'll be a Stalker, Sentry, Immortal attack on the 3rd, likely. That, like, once upon a time, that was like the meta attack that we had in this matchup is you would like literally walk across and utilize force fields to zone your opponent out and kind of kill their 3rd Nexus and get way ahead on that way. So we'll see if that's how he's going to play it. He is making that 2nd Immortal. SOS actually starting to walk across the map as Blink is getting very close to done for him. And ready to take that 3rd Nexus as well.
And he's going to be moving down here. He might try to blink up into the main, just using this Oracle to spot. I think it would be a bad idea, but this looks like that's what he wants to do.
He doesn't have that much intel right now. Okay, Immortal is already up here.
All right, so I guess this is a moment where you just sort of are forced to try to take the fight. I think that was a big mistake by SOS. He does have enough to blink out. He did kill some Stalkers.
Lost a lot more, though.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a blunder of a move.
Yeah, it did not do what he was looking for.
More gates coming down. Charge here for SOS.
Yeah, so Hurricane is getting ready to try to make a killing blow here. SOS kind of mirroring that with those mass gateways before his 3rd Nexus. Might see Hurricane throw down that 3rd Nexus as well. Although, honestly, if he just threw every penny he has into unit production goes, I don't think that's a bad play at all. I think that's pretty smart.
With a lot of gates coming down here. he might be able to match what's going to come here from Hurricane. Nobody has a third base, and I think there's good reason for that. I think you need to keep powering up in a game like this where you're both taking swipes at each other. Hurricane now pushes out, headed northbound. I said there was no third base. I was wrong. He just started one.
Yeah,
Let's see if he
SOS,
can keep
like, it's going to be tough. He's going to get a big warping around his Zealots here, so maybe have like 8 to 10 Zealots. Here comes that attack, past that watchtower. That is kind of a funny little group of units right there. I don't think he... Yeah, here's that attack on that third base that we were kind of talking about before. Throws down those force fields, but the Charge-Lot's kind of getting on top of everything. As the Prism here, for some micro, juggling into the Immortals a bit. Look at this, the blink forward. It does actually end up picking off that Warp Prism.
Okay, actually not bad. He's going to get the Immortal as well. I'm kind of blown away by how well SOS took that fight, but it does seem like Hurricane can continue to mount a push. He's going to focus down on this next burst 100%. There's no way to save this, so it's canceled right away. But he's going to go even further. He's going to try to push in now and break him with the natural, and if SOS can't hold this, I think he loses.
Yeah, I don't think he can. Notice how he pulls his Immortal back? I think this is because he can't, like, it might get sniped if it comes up, whereas he can get away with Stalkers. Like, I don't think that there's any way to actually break SOS.
Yeah, well, he's also going to keep chasing him here. There's some more Stalkers that have come up with the rest of the group, but these Zealots are doing quite a bit of damage. Can he still snipe that Immortal? He blinks on top, targets it down. It's just barely killed off.
And everything is taking so much damage. You see the power of the Charge-Lots here.
Yeah.
He breaks through a lot, but he's losing all of his Stalkers as well. Kind of blinks away. A lot of these are heavily damaged for Hurricane.
Now, I almost think that attack could not have been mismanaged more by Hurricane. I'm not saying he's behind, but he could be if this keeps going on the way it is. I think he wasn't quite respecting the Charge-Lots there. You know, in theory, you could micro that a lot better, but mechanically, it's almost impossible to do.
I think SOS, though, he's just going to be overwhelmed here. He has that one shield battery, and obviously you're going to target that down, and that's going to be it. Going to tie it up 2-2.
Yeah, too much here from SOS. Few Zealots trying to be warped in. It seems like in this tug of war, he should just barely not quite have enough. GG. Hurricane takes it, and what a great PvP this has been so far. We're going to Game 5.
All right. So back and forth from these two. Really, what a nice series.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're both playing so well. There's a lot to unpack in all these games, but it's clear they're a very even match. It's just going to come down to this next game, and I don't know who's going to take it. It'll be on Light Shade.
All right. Yeah, it honestly could go either way. I feel like this entire series has been them catching each other with their openers.
Let's not forget SOS was a pixel off on his scout.
Yeah, he was a pixel off on that. He did that big blink in, lost a lot of Stalkers there.
Yeah.
That was the moment that Hurricane decided, you know what, screw it, no third base, let's go.
All right, guys, Game 5 starts now. SOS or Hurricane, only one moves on to GSL Code S. Let's find out which player that is.
Team NV, SOS. Hurricane.
Okay. This is exciting. These have actually been awesome PvPs. It's great seeing all these different strategies kind of butt heads. A little bit of mind games going on.
Yeah, PvP, I mean, there's so many cool builds, but there's so many little bluffs you can have in there, and it's not always cut and dry how you want to respond to stuff as well. It's just a great matchup overall. I think it gets really exciting because both sides can warp in so fast, so things can really get hectic very quickly.
Yeah, the Punish has become, you know, so strong because there's no rally distance.
Right, yeah.
So you don't really have as much defender's advantage.
Nobody's setting up with a wall here at their natural expansion. Instead, it's over at the ramp. We could still have it expand in a little bit, but I think both sides showing a lot of respect so far and a lot of restraint as far as builds go. We also don't have anything proxied on the map yet. And with the cybernetics cores about to finish, I don't know that we're going to have anything proxied on the map, because if it was going to be made, there would have been a pylon out there already.
Well, yeah, which feels weird because that means SOS isn't going to go for like a very fast DT rush in any of the games. Which is, honestly, in a best of 5, he normally does that like twice. So he really has liked DT rushes recently, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that. A couple of depths on the way. Might be making a nexus here pretty quickly. Throws down his pylon just as a little scout. See what's going to be popping out of these gates.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. I was saying there's no pylon here.
Well, he just made it.
Well, let's see if that's going to be used for anything. At least so far. It's 2 stalkers at a time for both players on the map. And here it is. Hurricane has his 3rd gateway over here.
Okay, and a 3rd gate as well for SOS.
Yeah, which would tell me that a Hurricane strategy, if it's going to be an attack, is probably not going to be that effective.
Yeah, SOS's 3rd gate's in his main base, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
also, this is about to be scouted. He knows.
Well, that's a big scout there.
Yeah, do you let this finish now? What is the plan?
I think you let it finish. He actually finishes. Gets the probe. And will pull the recall off, saves one of his adepts. SOS with his own proxy pylon. Oh, man. That's painful.
And he can't get over here and save this.
No, not in time.
Which is not even going to allow that to get into warp gate.
Painful. See it. Hurricane not too happy with this.
And
just more stalkers here. Good micro here from SOS. Ends up losing one there. Brings his adept down, pushes everything back. They're both going Nexus. Definitely got a feel here like SOS is in pretty good shape. Coming down to check the Nexus.
Oh, man. Hurricane, maybe not with his screen at the right spot, stepped a little bit too far forward and gets punished, losing some stalkers there, now retreating. And not all PvPs go this way, but this one might. There's just enough small errors that have happened here on Hurricane's side that SOS might be able to come in here and collapse on top of the natural, which would just spell the end of the series.
He should be able to cancel the Nexus at least. There's no shield battery down there. He made a couple sentries, so he's just way down in power.
And SOS is ready with a probe in case the adept shenanigans start over there. Ooh. Completely denied. It wasn't the last second. It was a little bit close. A force field that doesn't block out the stalkers is thrown down. The Nexus is destroyed. And, you know, when you get a PvP like this, this is really what mirror matchups can be so much about is, you know, 1 base versus 2 is such a big difference. And it wasn't like Hurricane invested in a big attack and didn't get an extra base. In fact, he had one making and it was shut down. And this sort of zones him into a very, very difficult area to ever get out of. You know, we'll see what he wants to do. Not to mention, this gateway's been shut down again. So the idea was a powerful counterattack. I mean, look, he can remake the pylon, but these are all things that sort of sandbag the progress of any comeback here from Hurricane.
It's so bad. Like, he keeps getting his blink upgrade, and between that and the sentries, that's all the possibilities that he has basically here. A couple of depths come up. He will warp in these stalkers here to pick those off. I mean, you know, he's got, what, 4 gates here. Blink. God, there's an Immortal that's going to pop out. He's making a shield battery on high ground. SOS is really ready for this. I can't imagine, like, is there any way Hurricane can break this many shield batteries?
It's so cut and dry, man. I mean, SOS knows, okay, there's basically only one way you can come back, and so let's double, even triple down on the efforts to stop that. And he's basically done that now. Here comes that adept here. It looks like that one can maybe shade in the main. Is immediately picked off, and It's going to be a blink into the main here, which is, I guess, not a bad idea, especially with the Sim City making this weird arc that the entire army has to go around. Actually does kill the Immortal, not bad.
About as good as you could hope for, I guess. Let's see what he can do over here. Unfortunately, his Sentry's not quick enough to get over there and stop anything from coming back down. Hurricane very much at the end of his rope here. Trying to pick off that Immortal, but SOS's economy, he's up 10 probes, he's up a base, he's up in tech.
You can see that Hurricane sealed off his main, basically like burning his boats. This is it. He's going to have to try to win this.
His Stalkers are not going home tasteless.
They're not going to go back and protect the natural expansion. And so, look, more batteries come down as SOS sees exactly how this must be played out if he's to win. Again, a very unfortunate position here to have your buildings, but SOS just, I think, has too much no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. Hurricane is really trying to make something happen with these little blink groups, but the amount of batteries out, look at this, he just keeps adding those batteries, uses the overcharge here as the Immortals walk down that ramp. And there's just, he's so outnumbered. GG and SOS gonna go into Code S. Hurricane, unfortunately, unable to make it there this season.
Yeah, SOS moves on. Very exciting stuff. Also, Hurricane looking extremely strong.
Yeah.
I think some of the best games he's shown.
I think that was a really nice series overall, but, you know, it didn't go right for him.
Yeah,
tough one.
So, hell yes, man. SOS is moving on to the GSL Code S. Let's see how he performs there. I think he's going to have some great games to show us. The question is, can he bring back the SOS of the past? Because right now, he's looking like, you know, maybe a round of 16, round of 8 player, not the champion we once knew. We're going to go to an interview now, see how Admiral SOS is feeling.
SOS of Team MB defeats Hurricane in a full set match, and he moves on to round of 16. Congratulations. Thank you. First of all, how do you feel after that victory? Well, it's a PvP, so it was a little difficult. And you know, it was a difficult win for me. The last game, you were able to limit Hurricane from doing anything that could damage you. For the last game, the build that Hurricane used was a build that I used often, so I knew how to counteract to that strategy. Oh, I see. SOS. Today, you were phenomenal with the Phoenix, catching up the disruptors. That was really good to see. Well, in terms of skills, I think I'm pretty much the same as before. I think it just matters whether my condition is good or bad during the day. I looked at my robot timing and everything else, but you know, there was some miscalculation in one of my games with the timing. So that kind of hurt my mentality. But in Romanticide, my opponent was playing very aggressively, so I tried to play passive and slowly, and that's why I was able to win the game. Well, you said that your skills are quite similar to before, but you have been showing really good progress these days, being in the round of 4 in the Super Tournament as well. So what about the group nomination, SOS? Well, I'm not too sure about the group nomination so far, but I just want to be in a happy group. Well, SOS, you seem to want to join an easy group, like other players. So anything you want to say before you go? Well, I want to say thanks to all my fans for rooting for me. And I heard that we're going to have a live audience soon, so I'll see you then. All right, congratulations, SOS. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent work, Andy. Cool, man. I really enjoyed that PvP. I hope our ZVZ can be as close to as good as that one. Guys, we got a short break. We come back. Another mirror matchup. Dark vs. Armani. Do not go away.
Time stops when we're alone. You got my love, don't let it go. Feels like we're paper thin, one step away from caving in. When you're out where all the wild roams, and you're looking for a way back home, I'll be like that only you can see. You can see. I'll be here when things go south. We can take our time just to figure it out. Oh, I'll be here when all gets lost. We can count on hope when there's rivers to cross. Oh, and I know our lives will always change, but our hearts forever stay the same. I'll be here when things go south. We can take our time just to figure it out. Oh, time stops when we're alone. You got my love, don't let it go.
Through the silence.
함께 모이면 홈파티. 홈파티엔 먹방. 먹방엔 칠성사이다. 맛있어. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 칠성사이다.
퇴근하고 뭐해?
퇴근하고 오늘은 유셰프, 내일은 유러너, 주말엔 유목수.
그걸 다?
본캐부터 부캐까지 하고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타 콘트라베이스.
이번 주 등산 어때? 등산 캠핑? 그래서 주말엔 낚시?
내가 낚인 거지.
그래도 나오니까 좋잖아.
일상에서 취미까지 나누고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피 칸타타. 아이시스 8.0을 챙긴다는 건 건강한 생각까지 챙긴다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0. 아이시스 8.0을 연다는 건 조금 이른 아침을 연다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
Code A, Day2, SOS, Hurricane, Dark, Armani, Pure, RagnaroK, Freaka TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
What is that on Armani's shoulder? The sailor slash pilot outfit.
Yeah.
What was that? What is that gold stuff called?
Yeah, like the tassels.
Are those tassels?
Maybe. You tell me. You're the expert on tassels.
Every once in a while,
actually, I'm
my
the expert on
name
tassels.
comes up, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I like that you accept that you're tassels.
I do accept that I'm tassels.
Yeah. Tasteless is such
it's like
a dumb
every once in a
like,
while,
what did you
I'll be
do?
out with people, and they'll be like, "How's your food? Is it pretty tasteless?" And then I try not to kill myself right in that moment. I do make a mental note to not talk to that person ever again.
Oh, absolutely.
Are those actually tassels, though, on this?
Well,
on
the tassels are the part that are like
the frilly part.
The frilly part at the end, but I'm sure there's like a better word for that thing. It's like the same thing that you put on like curtains at your grandma's house.
Yeah, grandma curtains for sure.
Where it's like you never actually open them because she doesn't want her like sofa to get sun
It's like at grandma's house where they had a cabinet of dishes that we never had anybody in the house that was important enough to use those dishes.
100%. We literally
had that at my grandma's house. I was like, these
china.
dishes, is this for like
no one ever used them.
Are we going to have like the king and queen come over and have dinner with us and we're going to use them? I mean,
the king and queen.
Yeah. Is the president going to come over? And that's when we bust out the blue china plates? Is it time yet?
It never was time.
It was never time. We never got to use those dishes. That was the problem with that generation.
Yeah. Having these rooms with there's a couch with like pillows on it that you can't sit on. It's
yeah.
like what?
Yeah, that's a part of our old American generation was rooms and houses. You're like, you can't really go in here. That's like the guest living room. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We have a part of our house we don't use?
So weird. So, Armani versus Dark.
Romanticide will be the map. It starts off on, I think everybody's probably in agreement this most likely will be one-sided. I hope that we're all wrong and Armani makes this a close match and maybe wins, but Dark is tough. He is looking extremely strong as of late, and he's got a very good range of ZVZ play.
Well, I think Dark is still a little bit disappointed in himself later. This is a guy that wants to be remembered as synonymous with StarCraft. He hasn't achieved that. And he's got to smash Armani here if he's going to make a dent this season.
All right, guys, game one's ready. The best of 5 with Dark and Armani starts now. What are you giggling about, Artosis?
I was just...
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Dark.
Sorry. I'll tell you in a second after this one.
Good.
Afrika Freaks. Armani.
Dude, he's really cracking up right now.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about this for, like, since Monday, I guess. I was I've been thinking about it for a little bit. Like, basically, I saw this thing in a kid's movie that was on Netflix that was, like, really funny. There was, like, these robots that just had, like, the plate glass, like, front to their face, so they didn't actually have faces. And then they wanted to pretend that they were humans to, like, infiltrate the humans or whatever, so they took, like, lipstick and drew, like, eyes on themselves and mouths. So I've just been thinking of, like, a Protoss that just, like, draws a mouth on his face with lipstick and, like, draws a nose and stuff and tries to act like it's a human.
A Protoss that tries to put its, like, the glasses with the fake nose and the mustache
Something
or
like
whatever.
that. Something like that. So I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, the Protosses don't have mouths, but they communicate with telepathy, right?
I guess. It seems weird that they can just telepathize anyone. You'd think they could weaponize that a bit better.
Yeah, you would think that actually you could just
They
start
can make
to
side
harass
blades
somebody.
and talk in your brain, but they can't screw up your brain at all.
Yeah, it would seem like if you can actually access somebody else's mind with your own thoughts, you could absolutely make them insane.
I would honestly have parts of my army, and they would probably only cost like half a supply, where they'd be like screamers, and they just scream into your head
It'd
the
be
whole
little
time.
2-feet Protosses.
They're just screaming.
Flying over you.
You can't even think. It's because it's all you hear is Protoss screams the whole time.
Yeah, it does seem like they could have used their tech a little bit better.
Yeah.
Even with their buildings, I'm like, the crystal has to be, it's floating above the ground.
Yeah.
We can't make this thing move.
I know, isn't that
You
weird?
know?
It's got to be stationary.
I'm like, watch this Protoss, and I stick some wheels on this bad boy. This is human technology.
Well,
now,
here's what I do, right? Because it is floating. So then they're like, no, we can't move it. It just stays there. Like, it has to be over the ground where it warps in. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
really? So I put a piece of paper down on the floor and warp in a pile in there, then bring the paper with me. I'm like, you idiots.
you
I
attach,
will bring this everywhere.
watch this, you attach donkeys to it and just pull it on the ground.
Yeah, they squandered their talents
They
for
did.
sure, for sure.
By the way, everything is mirrored out so far. 3 base, Baneling's nest, almost completely at the same pacing here. Like speed coming, drones, lings, everything is the same. We got to wait and see if there's going to be a deviation. If one player is maybe going to ling up an attack, maybe even both of them end up going into that, or if it's going to be a passive game where they're both going to drone up.
Very similar in the numbers right now. Maybe a couple more lings are being created for Dark right now, but that's about it. Evolution Chamber for Dark. Defensive Baneling coming up here for
Oh, good
Armani.
scout.
Yeah, gets up there. And Layers morphing, so that's a good find.
Yeah, getting the confirmation for that's very good. Let's see what build fork that Dark goes for here.
Gets his own up. And what he'll see is no layer yet. So that's actually, that's an equally good scout. +1 on the way. Roach Warren coming up here for Dark. Like with no layer on the way, I think we're just going to see Dark like mass Roach from here, right? If you're not going to get layer and you're getting +1 quicker than your opponent, it has to be a timing attack because otherwise your opponent's going to get his +1. He's going to get Roach speed, and that's going to be that.
Here it is.
That's a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, quite a lot are coming here. You
That
can see
is-
the difference in productions. More drones were just started, and they'll be hatching as this attack comes in. The Roach Warren is finished, and we're probably going to have up to about 7 Roaches inbound here.
Yeah, a couple Banes coming up, probably to help clear some other Banes. Oh, nice split there.
Oh, actually, okay, he's actually going to run past and go for the drones. I thought he might try to detonate on those Banes. Oh, man.
Ooh.
Nice save.
Oh, my God.
But I don't know that he can stop this one.
Oh, God, that was good. All right, so gets 4 drones there.
Now he's
and
hammering away at this hatchery.
A lot of Roaches on the way. Don't forget, his +1 started way ahead, so he is going to move out. This is, yeah, I like this for Dark right now. He's starting to drone up behind this, but this group of Roaches he's bringing up is going to 2-shot Lings here. So this is going to be very frightening indeed. Of course, he can target down any of the Banes. He still has an okay amount of Lings mixed in as well. Spire on the way for Armani.
And pretty good defense here by Armani. The things are very split up. You can see this mineral patch that's been opened up is allowing the circulation to be a lot more fluid here for Dark. Baneling's still in the back right now. The Lings just need to avoid the Banes. They're going to go for this Queen, trying to surround really for the Bane in the last second. More Roaches coming forward here. The Queen's getting covered. The Queens are going to go down, as with the rest of the Roaches. Good targeting before it can connect.
These Roaches going to kill absolutely everything. 14 against 7 right now. Getting into this third base. Starting to pick off a bunch of the drones as well as they run away. Picking off Roaches as they retreat as well.
And he can actually hit the Roach Warren on the outside here. And suddenly what was supposed to be a defensive structure is actually a weak point here.
Yeah.
And there's really no good way to cut it. He's going to kill off the Roach Warren eventually, the moment that the Zerg is pulled too far back.
And he is going to end up getting that. Very nicely done. The Broodling's coming out, and he will back up while moving, attacking this Roach. And, like, I guess Armani technically will push this back, but he's down 10 drones. He doesn't have a Roach Warren. It's not looking so hot. I guess he did make the Spire, right? So we'll see if the Mutas are going to be enough. But with the Nidus finishing up here, this does feel like Dark is in a good spot.
It seems like the Mutas are going to fly out, get halfway across the map, and a Nidus is going to pop up somewhere. And It's going to be very, very difficult to recover. I mean, great play so far here by Dark. He's ahead in pretty much every metric. So the Nidus is going to come here. I feel like the Mutas are going to fly over this, are they not?
Well, if they stop to get the Overlord, they'll see it, which is important. Yeah, he sees it now.
Oh.
Sending everything down. It is going to pop, and roaches are going to start coming out, but actually this is pretty good for Armani, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Dark gets it down. Now he gets to kill these roaches as well, and he can actually turn and kill the other ones too, right?
I think actually Dark wins this fight. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I think he wins this. Now he's hitting the Nidus, but I think Queens and Roaches are going to pop anyways, and another Nidus starts, and it's just enough.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's just enough to basically push this through.
Yeah, he sent up a few roaches on the ground, which was really the crucial moment. This could have actually, you know, it really gone the way of Armani otherwise, I think.
All right, GG. Dark takes game 1. Hey, nice timing attack.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that's how that game might look, but...
Well, Dark made a very decisive move. He scouted the lair. He purposefully got the very quick +1 attack. He nailed it with those lings, brought the banelings up, kind of out-controlled in the ling-baneling battle. And yeah, his follow-up was enough. And then into the Nidus just before the Mutas were ready. The thing is, Armani did not look bad at all to me. He actually looked very, very strong. Dark got him, but it was like, it was a great game out of Dark.
Yeah.
So I think this series might be reasonably close, honestly.
I hope so. 2,000 atmospheres where we continue our story here. Dark winning with a sharp timing attack, interrupting the progress of a mid-game player macroing up and punishing Armani. Was then unable to cover after surviving the first attack with Mutas. Let's see what happens in game 2. Oh.
All right, 12 pool. That's how you can tell it's Dark, man. You
Yeah,
gotta have a 12 pool in there.
He does like to do this more than almost anybody else.
Yeah, he 12 pools more than anybody, that's for sure.
I think he also just rushes like this more than the other Zerg. Sue does it occasionally, not that often, but he'll bring it out. And then Scarlet and No Regret are gone. Until they come back here, we have some kind of crazy rushes again. And if it isn't our old friend, Mr. Greedy Hatchery First, how dare you try to open up like a normal player? Who do you think you are?
Well,
how entitled are you to want to go into a game that's not just Lings?
let's see how many, how heavily he wants to do this.
Yeah.
6 lings. And I think is he just going to go hatch with this? 8 lings. Oh, okay, he's going to go triple spine with it. I was going to say, he's been saving up quite a few minerals here. We don't see the queen. We don't see, okay, and all the drones going to come.
So, yeah, he sends out the first 3. I think he's going to have enough for spines.
Oh, man.
This is all through the blind spot of the Overlord. So the idea is you send the 3 out to start the spines, mine up a little bit more so that you can actually afford the spines. I know it kind of sounds weird, but that's what's happening here.
It's a very mapped out build.
And then you send all the drones, but just enough to make another pair of lings or 2 back at home.
Oh.
And this is about the most snowbally thing you could try to do. You can build it right at the edge here. This separates the main and the natural. Can he actually stop the third one?
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Slowing it down. That's something at least.
Yeah, I think that this is probably something he can't recover from.
He made too many drones. I think you're right about that. He was playing a very greedy game with no intel whatsoever. And, okay, he's sending drones way out here, trying to intercept? What?
Yeah, the problem is he doesn't have the minerals to make a hatchery, for instance, and spine crawlers are structures, so I think this is literally already basically a checkmate. Yeah, he's making spines back here. There's not enough link to defend this. The queen's going to come out but be completely alone in this fight.
Yeah, I like that he puts it into that location. He did sneak up the spine in the back, kind of bought some time with the attention on the drones. Trying to stop this spine from going down, but of course it's like drones against spine crawler hits. Not working out so hot.
Yeah, and again, there's not enough mine here. This is literally physically impossible for him to win.
think you're completely right about that. Like, even if he kills this hatchery over there, he's not going to be able to mine any himself, and there's spines. Like, I guess you can kind of try for some sort of draw, right? Like, let's take a look. He's got 14 drones, 6 lings.
I mean, no, I think that this really is, I think, impossible.
I think it's impossible too, yeah. 14 lings, 9 drones is just so much better. He's trying to hold him surface area-wise. It does not look like that's going to work out.
Yeah, I don't blame Armani for trying.
Yeah, as well.
GG Dark. That was a brutal murdering.
Yeah. That was a smash right there. But Armani played super green, and he had no intel. He was not, he's just like, I don't know, I'm just going to make a ton of drones. So
Dark does like to do this in ZVZ, best of 5, best of 7. We've seen it, I want to say, in almost every single one, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, as he does one of these ling rushes that basically says, think twice about ever making a hatchery first like that. Know that I'm capable of doing this. And it does kind of pressure a player like Armani into a more conservative set of decisions. And the thing is, Dark can do anything from here. Dark can then play very greedy himself.
Yeah.
So it's going to be light shade here for map 3. Let's get this going. Hopefully Armani can come back. If not, Dark goes 3-0.
They're both 12 pooling. I love it.
Oh my God, you're right.
This could be an insane game if they do something like for instance, what Dark did last game, where he went around the Overlord scout pattern. They would do that in opposite directions. So that would turn into the craziest thing we've ever seen. That could actually end up a draw.
That would be nuts.
That would be nuts. I hope that that's exactly what we see, is that craziness. It's like, what is the right call there? I think you cancel your 3 spines, kill their hatcheries, and start your own.
Yeah, does the math work on that? I think so.
Yeah. Because you can't go home. That doesn't work.
So the spines start crawling across the map.
Yeah, that would be about it.
It becomes a suspense game. We're just watching the lings, everything push it in there. The guy's going to try to mine drones and then get the defense he needs in this base trade.
Oh, okay, hatchery for Dark, it seems. Yeah, he starts a hatch, and Armani is doing the same thing this game as Dark did last game. He left more drones at home, though.
Well, I think he doesn't have the exact build the same way Dark does. I think the idea is almost the same, but it seems like Dark's is actually mathematically slightly more refined. Now, he saw the lings.
Yeah, you see he's kind of got a pufferfish mouth right now. Okay, now Dark sees this coming.
So we're going to know exactly.
Lings
look, okay.
He's fine. Dark's fine.
Yeah, you can just, reading Armani,
yeah,
he realizes this is like this awkward moment where he realizes this is not supposed to work out. Now he's biting his upper lip.
Yeah. Well, what else can you do but bite your lip?
That's all.
Dark's about to rip your face off 3-0. This is a really quick series.
GG, wow.
A 3:45 game, a 2:16 game. That was quick, Tasteless. Dark 3-0s. Wow. Honestly, I felt like Armani was playing pretty well in game 1, and then he got caught in game 2 being greedy, and then he tries the same thing to Dark in game 3, but Dark does like 12 pool hatchery and just smashes.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
Dark is very good at playing in the ZVZ, though. Also, this is something we don't get to see as much at pro level, like GSL level play. But, there are these situations that all the pros have mapped out for these unique openings where you spot this. You go, okay, if I see those lings or the drones coming, I cancel here, I make this and I make that, and that's exactly how you stop it. And it's why we don't see every game look like that. But Dark, very much, I think making this probably the shortest best of 5 we're going to have in Code, maybe for this entire season in GSL.
I think so.
Let's go to an interview with him, see how he's feeling.
Wow, that match was unbelievably fast, and Dark takes the 3-0 win against Armani. Congratulations. Thank you. Wow, such a quick game, Dark. How do you feel?
이번에도 상대가 너무 어려워서
Well, today the opponent was very formidable, so I was nervous. But I'm glad things turned out good. And you did go for the 12 pull twice, and then you went for the spine crawler as well. You were very aggressive. You could have gone for the macro, but why did you go for these strategies today? I don't think I'm a really good macro player, and Armani is a phenomenal player as well. And in practice, I tried macro. So I think it would be hard to go up against Armani in a macro game. So that's why I went for the aggressive strategies. In third game, what went through your mind when you saw the 12 pull? I mean, I did prepare for the 12 pull. But I was kind of worried for Armani because if I were him, I would be really angry right now. I mean, Dark, you being in Code A is quite weird, to be honest. And this time, you did get bogged down by innovation, and you had to go to the Code S. So what do you think about that? I was under immense stress after losing to him. I'm just gonna have to try really hard and play better in the next match. In round 16, I want to play against innovation. So are you saying that you want to pick innovation in the round 16 group nomination? That's right, I do want to, if I have the chance. Wow, you want a revenge match against him. I wonder how innovation thinks about this. But Dark surely wants a revenge. Avoiding him is not gonna give me any answer. So I think I have to overcome innovation and defeat him. A few days later, you will have to go up against Rainer in a grudge match as well. Well, today I exhausted all the builds I prepared. So, when I go up against Rainer, I'm going to have to focus on my fundamentals. We will look forward to your match, Dark. Is there anything you want to say? Can I talk about the live audience thing? Yes. Right now, we don't have the audience right now. But when the live audience comes back, I think I'm gonna be able to perform better on the live stage. Once again, congratulations, Dark. Thank you.
It would be funny if you were like, no, you can't talk about it.
No. Dark, we told you. NDA.
So that was really short. Thought it might be short, not that short though. I think we have an announcement to make.
Yes, about the tickets, guys.
Is a graphic going to come up for this, or?
Yeah, it is. There it is. The admission guide. All right. Seats will be available, 30 seats. Yeah, we know that part already, but this is going to be about how to get those seats. The tickets are going to be $5, basically. You can get up to 2 tickets per person who does this. Every Friday at 5 p.m. KST, you're going to be able to purchase tickets for the upcoming week.
There's only 30 seats. So if you're buying, 2 seats at once, it means 15 people are going to get tickets. So in other words, you need to get it very, very, very fast. If you come down here and ask us if you can get in, we can't help you. So do that. Good luck. We hope to see you guys in the studio. And that's all the time we have, guys. We'll be back with a short break, then our final best of 5.
Tell me that you wanna stay, baby, just don't walk away. I need you now, fade it out. All the time we spent alone, fighting through the firestorm. Don't let me down, I need you now, 'cause I'm feeling worn out. It's getting to me, lost some heart trying to get on my feet. Caught in the madness. I feel you somehow. Don't let me go, I need you right now. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you. Tell me that you wanna stay, baby, just don't walk away. I need you now, fade it out. All the time we spent alone, fighting through the firestorm. Don't let me down, I need you now. Cause I'm feeling worn out, it's getting to me. Lost some heart trying to get on my feet. Caught in the madness, I feel you somehow. Don't let me go, I need you right now. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you. Fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you, you wanna be next to me. Holding our paper hearts, fading out broken dreams. I wanna be next to you.
함께 모이면 홈파티. 홈파티엔 먹방. 먹방엔 칠성사이다. 맛있어. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 칠성사이다.
퇴근하고 뭐해?
퇴근하고? 오늘은 유셰프, 내일은 유러너, 주말엔 유목수.
그걸 다?
본캐부터 부캐까지 하고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타 콘트라베이스.
이번 주 등산 어때? 등산, 캠핑? 그래서 주말엔 낚시?
내가 낚인 거지.
그래도 나오니까 좋잖아.
일상에서 취미까지 나누고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피 칸타타. 아이시스 8.0을 챙긴다는 건 건강한 생각까지 챙긴다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0. 아이시스 8.0을 연다는 건 조금 이른 아침을 연다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
이렇게 좋은 날엔 홈캠핑이지. 홈캠핑엔 고기, 고기엔 칠성사이다. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 완벽하네. 칠성사이다.
숙취 요즘 누가 저렇게 깨니? 맨날 똑같은 거, 맛없는 거 깨. 이제 탄산으로 깨. 숙취 해소의 새로운 기준. 가스강. 환도 역시 가스강이 대세.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
야채 착착, 당토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥. 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
관리받다. 관리하지 않는 순간에도 관리받다. 14일 동안 정성껏 발효한 브루잉 콤부차로 관리받다. 브루잉 콤부차.
The legend continues. We've walked all this time together. We made history. Even now, our footsteps become history. We are already legends. And the legend continues. Code A, Day2, SOS, Hurricane, Dark, Armani, Pure, RagnaroK. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
We're back, and it's time to fight. Time to cast. Time to watch what is most likely going to be a much more even fight. We've got a TVZ coming up. The ZVZ, look, it was very short. It was very one-sided.
It was unbelievably short. It was like 20 minutes from start to finish, including everything in between the games.
Yeah, we almost had more time just taking shots of our studio than we did actually watching two Zergs duke it out. I thought it might be one-sided. I didn't know it was going to be that one-sided or that quick, but I do think the next match we have is going to be close and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it could be a very close one. Like, RagnaroK is not quite, like, he was really rising for a bit, but I feel like that stopped a little bit. And then Cure actually has been, like, kind of on a downward spiral since his GSL finals. He hasn't looked as good since.
He has had some weird games. Look, all these players, they play for a long time. They're in different periods of their lives, obviously. You're watching these guys grow from their adolescence up into adulthood, and there's times where they have more time to focus, or they're, I guess the meta, you could say, or the current patch the game's in gels more with the way they approach it. Cure is somebody who looked like he was steadily improving and getting better and better. It does not look like that anymore.
Yeah,
he seems to be on the decline.
Yeah, it seems that way. We'll see if he can pop out of that. But
and RagnaroK has been a player who's been in the background of a lot of GSLs, overshadowed by the other Zergs that we have, not just in Korea, outside of Korea as well.
But I did feel like he had a season or two there where he was really rising and looking like, oh, he might be one of the future players that are like really killing it, kind of like Armani was doing.
Yeah, and I think that this is a season for him to prove that again, and maybe he'll do it, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves with that. I don't know who takes this, but maybe RagnaroK? I don't know. It'll depend on how Cure performs. I think Cure has definitely underperformed compared to his potential before.
Well, he made the GSL finals, and it was like, oh God, is this the new Cure? And then he's like dying the round of 16 every time after that, right? So I feel like a lot of it is up to Cure. How well is Cure going to be playing here tonight? Because he has been having a rocky time of things.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of condition Cure's in exactly. Again, like the last season we casted it. I mean, you and I were kind of giving each other glances like, oh, that's not the Cure we're used to seeing.
No,
so
sure.
We'll see here. These two guys basically in the underdog category overall. I guess that's what a lot of Code A is, but I think especially this is really two Code A players fighting it out right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, whoever gets in, I think is going to probably be a semi-early pick in the round of 16 anyways.
Yeah,
right?
I think
like
so,
one
for
of
sure.
One of the, not the weakest player that's going to get in, but one of the weaker players, I guess.
And I'm not trying to say this is going to be a bad match. I think it's actually going to be pretty good because it will be close. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of GSL, these guys are definitely the weaker players of our groups.
Well, the thing is, like, if Cure plays at his peak that we've ever seen, I think that that's very, very strong, and he should be able to kill RagnaroK. We haven't seen that from him lately. RagnaroK, on the other hand, like, yeah, he's been a roller coaster ride to watch overall. So I'm not sure what to expect, but because I'm so unsure for both players, it almost feels like I should say it should be close, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a fair bet. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 either way. This is a segment of the show we have to talk extra long for because the Korean casters have to chug hot six. And so, in case you thought that they really needed us to be on camera for this long, because we really had to kind of lay this one out, now you know. And it looks like they've finished chugging that hot six.
The magic of TV.
And thus, the TVZ will finally begin. Cure versus RagnaroK. By the way, guys, we're going to be back on Monday. We only have 2 more best of 5s in Code A, and after that is the group selection.
Yes, that's right. Oh, my God. And
so it's on the same day.
Yeah, and those are a couple sick matches actually on Monday. I can't wait for that. That's going to be amazing. But enough of that.
Yeah.
Let's go here. Yeah, and look, see, round of 16s. Like I said, that's where he's been getting to, basically. It's that's like kind of the beginning of the tournaments nowadays. See if Cure has it in him to make it into that round of 16 here once again.
Cure is a player, of course, he was on Jin Air before. He was always, I would say, obviously once you get past Creator, I think he was a player that performed, but always underperformed compared to his peers. Granted, his peers were like the greatest players in the world, so I'm not trying to water him down, but it must be a curious spot for him to now be, not on Jin Air. I think that could have, especially for Cure, could have only helped him.
I remember he actually left Jin Air a little bit before they disbanded because he wanted to kind of get out on his own. There was like those team leagues were going on.
That. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. So, like, and I think he did fine once he left them and everything. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Jin Air was just such a dynasty that it was like kind of funny to see him leave and decide to go that route. But anyways, let's get into it. Taste this. Oxide going to be our first map.
Yeah, this TVZ is about to get underway here. We're also going to have Lightshade, Romanticide, Blackburn, and Juggernautha if we do go to the 5th map. It should be a close one and a fun one to watch, and I really don't know who's actually the favorite here. We're just going to have to wait and see as the games unfold. Again, Game 1 on Oxide, Cure versus RagnaroK. Let's go.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure. Alpha X, RagnaroK.
Going with the black mask. Yeah. They are the cooler masks, the black ones.
Yeah, I do have a black one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no white ones?
White ones are okay. I mean, let's face it, you gotta, be styling when you're wearing the mask, right? Leave your house.
Oh,
what's
well,
gonna match with?
That is, I mean, what a funny thing, but yeah, like
I say only white masks in summer after Labor Day.
Yeah, to try to get my kids to be more compliant, there was someone out here that was making custom masks out of like fun stuff for kids.
Oh.
So like we have like a Batman mask and a Spider-Man mask. We have Pokemon masks. So we have like unicorn masks and rainbow masks and stuff like that. So there's like several masks for each child to choose from each day. But it opened up, it's like, okay, yeah, this gets them more excited to wear them because they're like, yeah, the Pikachu mask to go with my Pikachu Crocs today.
Yeah.
But it makes this period where I'm trying to get everyone out the door in the morning. That takes a really long time where there's a lot of hemming and hawing over which mask is the right mask for the day.
That's true. Well, that means your kids have some serious fashion sense.
It's like, well, we are wearing our Spider-Man sweatshirt today, but we got Pikachu Crocs on. So which mask? Is it the Spider-Man mask? Is it the Pikachu mask? Maybe it's the robot mask.
Yeah, that's a good question. So when with your kids, is there like, do they tend to coordinate it? Like, is it the Pokemon mask with the Pokemon shirt, or is it like...
Oftentimes.
Well, so there isn't one of them that's like, okay, but I like Spider-Man and I like Pikachu, so this way I can have...
That has happened as well.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a big meta that I don't quite understand that I watch every day. I'll update you if I figure it out.
Yeah, let me know. I'm curious now. So to start things off, it's been, a very generic TVT thus far. The Reapers come out, the pressure's on. We got to wait and see what kind of tech Terran's going to do and how great Ezerk's going to be.
Yeah, looks like we have that tech lab on the way, so maybe Stim coming, maybe Banshee. We'll see which one that's for. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what Kier wants to bring us. We've seen a lot of variety in our Terrans lately, right? Like Keen with all of his mech plays and his BC openers and stuff.
Yeah, Hellions coming up here. And I think this first game is going to be a really good measurement of where exactly Cure is, because like we mentioned, the last 2 seasons we casted of Cure, not like he played horribly, but it didn't look like the Cure we're used to.
Well, yeah, he had some games that were horrible and some that were not, I would say, right? Because I definitely recall like that series against Parting was the worst I've ever seen from him. But yeah, Who knows? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how he plays here today. Kind of going after these eggs, trying to kill drones before they... Hey, he got 2. That's pretty crazy for not even losing a Hellion.
Yeah, that was
That's
actually
nice.
quite good.
That's
That's
nice.
only value right there.
Yeah.
The Banshee's going to come here with the cloak. And we've got the 3rd command center. So it's going to be overall passive play in the sense that Terran's not trying to push and close the game out, but instead trying to dart in with Hellions and Banshees and try to get damage wherever you can, ideally on workers, but if not, somewhere else.
Yeah, this is nothing too crazy, like just Hellion plus Banshee harassment. The 3rd base slowed slightly because of that, or 3rd CC rather. Stim is on the way. A couple more racks is being added on. We should see those eBays going down shortly as well. We'll just see how many drones he can end up getting here. Again, in just a second before the Spore here. Allows him to get a little bit more damage on those drones. A couple go down. No real damage on the Banshee. I gotta say, the one thing I really appreciate that I'm seeing from Kira here is the retreats.
Yeah, he's not overcommitting. There's too many Terrans that just dive in.
They're like, oh, I see drones, and then they lose everything, and they have no map control. They have no way to slow creep. Yeah,
and
I hate that.
Well, an overextension like that is bad. I mean, if you actually make it work, it's great, but we do see too many Terrans actually overextend, and Zergs are literally only going to get better at this over time.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a new era of the day the Zergs forgot how to stop the Hellions, and you know.
Very true. And it's not like you're going to get better at right-clicking your Hellions through the mineral line. There's a very small amount of improvement that happens there and a big amount of improvement on defense.
Particularly with the Hellions, there's a finite amount of how much you can over-micro them as well. Like the way they fire and stop and everything. I like the attack here with these Banshees on this hatchery.
Yeah, force to cancel. That's really, really nice. He's going to have to pull back. Pretty low on health there, on mana as well. Spire coming up. Bailey speed on the way. Evos are up, but has not started those 1-1 upgrades. So definitely going to want to do that pretty soon since 1-1 is halfway done here for Gear.
And now our RagnaroK continuing to grow out here.
Yeah, this is...
But the push is ready.
Huh.
This is actually weird. I said that and I looked at him like he hasn't taken his 3rd yet. This feels like you would never be ready to attack with this. This feels like an anti-timing. You don't normally land your 3rd CC here and then attack into this. That's funny because I caught myself half-cast saying, wait a minute, that's really early. So I would think that Zerg holds this.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to force another cancel on this.
I don't think so. I mean, there's Queens here. Where are these Banes? We saw them hatching there.
He's just waiting for speed. And Bane's speed is almost done. He's splitting this up a little bit. He's going to come in with the flank. Queens are going to be able to tank on this. It's only one siege tank. Like, he can lift up the Marines and get out of there with those. Maybe pull the Hellions back. But this is... It's not really doing that
there's
much.
no way this works.
Yeah.
But again, this doesn't make any sense. This is like just... In a lot of ways, this is kind of like StarCraft 101, right? Like, okay, so when you take a 3rd base, in almost all circumstances, especially in this matchup, right? Like you made a 3rd command center in your main. Do you A, attack, or B, defend? Well, the answer is basically always B. To put it simply, because if you just took a 3rd base, the money that you spent making the 3rd command center, that could have been spent making barracks or factories earlier that would have been complemented your army.
Well, I think it's it's all right to pressure.
Yeah, but when you siege up, you're not pressuring. You're committing to trying to control an area, and so that never works. If you instead you take a 3rd base, you get a little bit more time, mine up some more resources, and you're in good shape. And now I think the 2nd attack will also not succeed because of what's happened with the 1st, because everything that happens inside the game is all connected to what happened before it. So, whoa, it's crazy, man.
It's like we're all one thing.
It's like we're just... I can't think of anything totally deep and hippish to say. We're just skin rocks floating in space, man.
Skin rocks. That's right, skin rocks. I'm definitely skin rock faces.
Yeah. He's going to come down again. Now, actually, this split was pretty good from Kira, but again, I just don't know that after a failed push that was premature, an immediate follow-up push is going to work.
No.
And so now the question that I was asking at the start of this is beginning to get answered is what kind of condition is Cure in? Now, pacing can be kind of tricky in StarCraft. It's the fastest RTS game ever made. Development comes at a very quick speed, but I got to be critical, man. If there was a way to make it so that you couldn't recover, it'd be to attack that early on, right, and siege up.
Yeah, I mean, the first attack, I'm surprised he stayed as long as he did, and then that second attack, he didn't even have his tanks that far forward, and I understand he didn't want to get too close to the creep, because then the engagement's too quick, but now he's lost that army. Yeah, I'm not a super fan, right, because if you need to keep pressure on Zerg so he doesn't drone too much, but I mean, RagnaroK was on 80 drones, held that easily. And honestly, 2-2 is finishing, and if you don't lose all those units that he lost so far, you're basically very close to maxed out right now. And maxed out 2-2 timing is that's a real legitimate time to try to attack your opponent,
well,
right?
that's kind of how you want to play TVT. If you're a really good player and you want to show somebody what a really good TVT looks like, that's a game you'd show him. Look, he's maxed out, he's got 2-2. Watch how he spreads his Marines and Widow Mines and everything else. And I'll show you a good game. And again, the game's not over yet, but RagnaroK is in a pretty fierce economic position. I mean, he has 5 bases. He's likely to grow into the top left. I don't think there's any way Terran can prevent that, especially the shaping of the expansions that Terran's already laid out to claim don't allow for an easy push into the top left. And in a matchup like this, you always have to be thinking ahead.
Well, he's taking his 4th base, right? I'm sure he has 3-3 on the way right now. He's got a very good SCV count, but 95 drones, mass Bane here for RagnaroK. This is a very scary thing to play against. He does not have that much splash damage. He's got 2 tanks, tasteless. That's his splash damage. Just now starting to pop out some mines.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see look at this attack from RagnaroK. That is very many Banelings.
Yeah, forking out, and you just, when you get a hit like this, a lot of times you'll run out of map to try to run back on. And I'll tell you what, Cure did actually a really impressive job holding that, but then look at where the supplies lay after that. Terran is in shambles, and even though you survive the attack, it doesn't mean that you're going to be okay in the rest of the game. Now we're going to have a lot more Lings and Banes get made here. There's a lot of vulnerabilities because a lot of the Marines that are being being trained here need to be rallied out to that 3rd base to further defend it, which allows the Vitas to hit other locations on the map.
RagnaroK's looking really, really strong here. Look at how many bases he's actually taken. 6th base being taken in the top left. Just continuing to mass up his Ling Bane Muta. Getting that +3 carapace now. I mean, I really want to see him throw down an Ultralisk Cavern. Other than that, I think he's just playing a beautiful game.
So some more spines coming up here. I mean, there's really no counterattack area for Terran even right now. You can see that Zerg's just basically crossing his T's and dotting his I's. There is that 4th base of the Planetary still up. And I'll tell you what, I think RagnaroK was a little bit slow to try to have any quick counterattack here, so Terran has actually maxed back out. I thought we were going to have a quicker follow-up attack. It didn't happen.
Yeah, and he's definitely got a better army now. A lot of Widow Mines actually mixed in. He has Drilling Claws. 3-3 is finished. So, yeah, this is going to be his best chance, I think. Because the Ultralisk Cavern is only about halfway done. 3-3 is not done, and Adrenal's not done. So, RagnaroK is only going to get stronger from here. We need to see Cure do something.
Okay, this is the most important part of the game, I think, because Cure's got himself into a somewhat viable spot. That was almost too much. That was almost too funny how many missiles came out there.
Yeah. He spread them very well to kill those mines off, though, I can tell you.
So, can Cure make anything work with this? Now, although the supplies are both very high, look at the amount of minerals that have been banked here for RagnaroK. That's a lot of Lings that can be sent in to reinforce.
A lot of Marauders down there right now. Yeah, Cure is moving slowly enough up the map. It looks like he still wants... Oh, God, what am I seeing here? Were those Marauders supposed to be with the Marines here? Okay, here he goes. He's pulling back into the Marauders.
Yeah, this is a lot of Banes connecting in here. The reinforcements come up. I don't know that this bottom right chunk can be dealt with, but RagnaroK backs up and begins to re-macro, this time incorporating Ultralisks into the mix.
The Ultra is going to add a lot of firepower here. 3-3 is almost done. Chitinous plating almost done here. Kira continuing to push to the north. That huge group of Marauders doing a great job for him. But as these Banelings morph out, yeah, well, I guess he loses the 6 hatch anyways. So this was a good move from Kira. I'll tell you, some of his mid-game looked a little bit wonky, but I feel like he's pulling this together. He's taking more command centers. He's continuing to grab what upgrades that he can. I like the heavy Marauder, but I do think he's going to need a little bit more than this, right? Like maybe add some Ghosts in or something to really help against those Ultras.
I think you're probably right, Artosis. I like this attack over here, just hitting this upgrade, actually denying vehicle plating too.
Yeah, and he has to remake his armory. Those Widow Mines going to be a little bit less powerful now.
I'll tell you what, though, if Zerg doesn't stop Terran from taking the 9 o'clock spot, Terran is going to be very healthy on bases for a long time.
Yeah, he is.
Kira's made some pretty egregious errors early on, but RagnaroK, I think, didn't successfully punish. And if the Terran continues to grow like this, it's going to be a problem here for the Zerg. More Banes coming out, but these Banes are not really finding the angles that they need. Look at the Marauder lineup here to soak that up. And a total commanding win there for Kira.
Yeah, the Ultra's getting carved down a little bit here at the end. He might have to run with what he's having left. Goes back to that planetary and forces him to turn around. But RagnaroK is like on permamax right now, right?
Right.
Kira's being pretty reasonably efficient, but this is 95 workers non-stop mining, non-stop maxed out supply for RagnaroK.
Yeah, we should point out too, the easiest way to follow this big picture is to just watch how many of the Banelings connect with targets that are ideal, like Marines. Sometimes you can have them connect on planetaries or Thors, and it's actually still kind of okay. But the Zerg is able to overspend and almost buy his way into a victory with this fight.
Oh my God. Well, goodbye, planetary.
Yeah.
Banelings are funny like that, aren't they?
They're pretty good,
Ooh,
man.
Good mine hits right there. Pulls back into this other planetary. That one I don't think is going to fall, as long as he repairs.
Well, if he targets it, no. Okay. He actually does repair that and save it in the nick of time.
Some of those Ultras, man, got so low and then heal up. Ouch.
That's so much value there as well. And here we go. We're actually getting Corruptors coming out here, too.
All right. I like the add of the Corruptors quite a bit right now to start reducing that medevac count. Obviously, you can use their ability a little bit here and there as well. But yeah, just getting rid of some of these longer-term value-causing units of the medevacs is going to be very nice. So look at this, Lingbane Ultra in such large numbers. Kira having a hard time getting his supply back up. He does have similar army supply right now.
Okay, another big attack coming through here. Here come the Corruptors to begin to push away those medevacs. The Banelings, can he just detonate? He does. He detonates right on the planetary. And another position has been denied. Terran now starving on 3 bases, sub 100 supply. GG. RagnaroK takes game 1 in an impressive fashion, but
he played really well.
Like I was saying, everything that happened in the game is connected, man.
You mean the early game influences the mid game?
Skin rocks floating in space, man. Look, you lose those fights early on, and it's like, how are you going to be in a healthy position when you've given up that much value? Ooh, cool camera shot there.
I think his late mid-game could have been a bit stronger if he hadn't maybe given up as many units over at the 4th base. Because those attacks, like, it was pretty clear they weren't going to work, I think. But yeah, anyways, RagnaroK, I think, played a beautiful game. He got huge drone counts, held on to everything. Very well done from him. We'll see if maybe Kira can make this a bit better on Lightshade.
Yeah, Kira's going to have to step it up and play a cleaner early game. Late game, he looked not bad, but I don't know. Let's see what happens, guys. Lightshade has loaded up. Let's go.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Cure. Alpha X, Ragnarok.
So last game we had, I think, for starts, I think nice conservative movement there from the Hellions, from the Banshees. You know, you were mentioning earlier, the Terra didn't overextend and dive in and just throw them away to kill workers. Not that that's not bad. If you kill, like, you know, a ton of workers, it's absolutely a worthwhile sacrifice on your part to put them even further behind than you are. But then we had the Terra go 3 command center, and I was saying before when we saw the third CC start, there won't be much happening now. And then lo and behold, as the CC floats to the third, we saw the Terran push, and not push with 2 medevacs and only Marines, push with tanks and siege up and try to shell the hatchery, excuse me, from a distance. And I don't know, man. I mean, that anything we know about StarCraft would tell us you can't both take 3 bases and push at the same time unless it's very few exceptions to the rule. And so Terran dumpstered his army.
Like, the only thing I can think is, you know, trying to utilize the Hellions there for some additional pressure. Maybe you think that Baneling speed is a little bit later, right? Sometimes people favor to get the upgrades like 1-1 quicker than Baneling speed, sometimes Spire and Mutas before Baneling speed occasionally. So maybe that was like the thought process there, but I think the second push even confused me a little bit more. It was like a very wonky 2 tank into 3 tank push where it was like, you already know he has Baneling speed, he has Mutas, you know, you're trying to attack up a hill. Didn't feel like something that was going to be as worthwhile, but I think Kira started to pull it together a little bit. Like his Mass Marauder play was pretty strong, but at that point when RagnaroK's on 6 bases with 95 drones, he can trade at a bit of a deficit. He can use the Banelings against the Marauders and stuff and actually be okay.
Yeah, and that's like you were saying, because he's so disproportionately far ahead. Is this okay? So he's going to see that add-on.
But what is it on?
What could it be?
He's actually. I mean, there is a question what it is, right?
I think he probably knows.
You think?
I think so.
Like, I could see it's less likely that would be another barracks than it would be, you know, maybe the factory is making it for a starport.
I feel like they swapped the add-ons a decent amount. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you see that and the barracks is still making Marines, you're like, this is infantry.
Yeah, normally the factory will be closer and you'll be getting reactored Hellions.
Even though you don't see the barracks, you're like, you're hiding something over there. If you were hiding something, it would be barracks.
Yeah, let's see if he grabs. I think he's going to grab Carapace right off the bat. Let's see. Come on, Carapace.
Wait for
Where are you, Carapace?
Come on.
Huh. Because, like, what that kind of looks like, based on what you're saying, is, like, maybe it's like the 2-on-1, where it's a couple medevacs quickly, stim Marines. And I mean, that's an older build, but the general counter to it was like 7+ queens and quick Carapace upgrade. And okay, so there is the Carapace. So yeah, I think you're right. He read that was another barracks, but he thinks I think he thinks it's going to be quicker medevacs for harassment, whereas it looks like he's just going to have a very big 2-base push.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Terran. Now, I'll tell you what, if Terran had made the decisions in the last game to attack off of, well, actually, this is even different. I'm sorry, guys, I was about to say something pretty generic, but he's actually pushing out. There's no medevacs there. This is stim and combat shields, and this is like...
This is fascinating.
Like
oh, my God.
A window timing push where you're going to hit at a weird moment where the Zerg's just like, what?
Whoa. Okay, he gets 2 tumors, backs up.
Does he try to come up on this high ground?
You have to turn around now. You have to turn around. You know that your opponent's going to have enough to kill you if you walk on creep.
So he has to back up. A lot of lings are being made.
But do you know
we should
what?
point out that these can actually be hunted down and killed if he doesn't get to safety immediately.
Yeah, it's much harder, though, off creep against just lings. You're going to trade reasonably well with stim and combat shields,
Yeah,
I
but
think.
he has Banes, too.
Yeah, but you'll... Like, will you catch that? Oh, wow, he catches the Overlord. I like this move from Kira overall. It's really interesting. Look at this. He's kept the drone count very low for RagnaroK. RagnaroK made a lot of Ling Bane here to defend. Wow. And, I mean, he's just going to rally more out right now. He's going to make 2 medevacs, and then he can actually really start. Right? He slowed the creep spread a little bit. He's got this high ground. He's not going to let creep up on it. Let's pop a couple tumors. Oh, don't go too far here. Oh, you getting little cray, little cray. Ooh. Without the 2 medevacs there, I'm a little bit nervous about moves like that.
This is like such a high wire act of a push here for exactly that reason, is that without medevacs, these can't leave if they get cornered, which means 1 or 2 banelings connect perfectly, and it is like, it's value city.
Yeah.
And watch, okay, now the stim is good.
Yeah.
But of course the stim is permanent.
Slow banes are slow. Well, it's permanent until these 2 medevacs come. This is
what a cool push here.
It's super cool. It's super cool. I haven't seen this. This is so neat.
No, same for me.
I love it. Like, even if it doesn't work, I'm like, wow, this was fresh at least.
But look at this counterattack that's going to get set up here.
And against an only depot wall, you're going to smash right in there.
Yeah.
This base is dead, though. 3rd base is going down.
And he's also loading up the only tank. I thought maybe a tank on the high ground. Baneling speed is about 20 seconds out. Here we go. He's not going to wait for it.
Oh, that's fearsome.
All right, he's busted through.
Yeah, and he can bust up the ramp as well with these banes. He has enough for 2 depots.
All right, he gets through, and this is where you're on top of Terran production. So Terran's actually killed the 3rd off. The question is, can Zerg just barely hold this off?
Yeah, it's a bit of a base trade right now. The banelings roll forward. He does not even micro. He guns them down, though. Pushing forward, more banes are morphing, and he is trying to get rid of them.
The denial is so crazy, and he's going to kill off the baneling nest.
Dude, everything's on fire at home for him, though.
Yeah, but I think Terran can't be stopped. I think Terran is actually too big to fail here.
I think you're right, actually. I think that you cannot. You would have to have the best connections anyone ever had.
He's morphing some right now. Like not right now. He started the morph earlier, and that means that. Oh, is that enough though? Is it enough?
Yeah,
he's making more links.
I think here is going to kill him.
Yeah, I think if he just targets down the banes, there's not a lot.
He's trying so hard to target them down. The drones are fighting the stim marines.
All right, he's going to try to buy some more time. Now he's sending the lings back. Hold on.
This is the wildest base trade.
There's a hatchery in the northeast. Keep in mind, Terran can always pick up. There's no queen. There's also not enough to fit every... Oh, there was enough to fit everything in those medevacs. Oh, he is going to get carapace. Now level 2.
Oh, that's funny. It's a good upgrade.
Oh, my God. So Terran's going to try to YOLO this in here. That hatchery is literally at 7 HP.
Yeah, no, he needs to go kill that right
now. The banelings...
You can kill that with anything. You can fly a medevac over it and it dies.
Okay, does he buy enough time here? Now he comes down on top of those tanks.
Well, he just has to kill the banes, and then I think he's all right. Ooh, that bane, though, that bane.
Hold on.
The bane did insanely well. Now the lings actually beat everything.
I think that Zerg wins.
Yeah.
I think that also Terran, I think, is unaware because he didn't kill that hatchery in the bottom right that Zerg's mining up here.
Yeah.
This has been an insane game, man.
Yeah, I guess he just didn't realize that the hatchery literally had 2 marine shots, or 1 marine shot when he left from death. Literally 1 marine shot. How is this happening?
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
So the baneling's nest has been remade. All right, here we go.
Kill the hatch, please.
Oh my God.
This is insane. The marines are so low that the drones could actually fight them.
Yeah. Zerg quick to fight back immediately. And basically, there's nowhere on the ground that Terran can be that is truly safe for that long. I guess you can actually drop here, and this is fine. I spoke too soon, but back at home, Terran can't really mine.
All these drones.
This is all that Terran has. Terran has 6 Marines in a dream.
He has 9?
Oh, hold on. There's some more coming over here.
Yeah, he has 9 Marines.
I'm surprised Zerg is... Oh, I guess Zerg has so many lings.
Yeah.
Careful, Zerg.
You just... Okay, he lost 1. He's down to 8. He needs to put 2 in each medevac. That's the way to do it. You got to drop 4 locations at once. I can't believe that hatchery's still alive. It's breaking my heart.
Is the Evo chamber still alive?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, putting a spore down, maybe. With a few drones you have, just get rid of the medevacs from getting close. Some banelings come here. as well. Burrow would probably be pretty handy here too, since Terran can't scan easily.
Oh, he's making a planetary in his main. Dude, if he had killed this hatchery, this would be so different.
Yeah.
It's... Okay, well, he has a planetary.
Yeah, and he's going to land the CC over here. He's committed to making an add-on in the middle of the map.
Cool. How does he not know that this is so low?
I think he knows. I think he's just not... he just doesn't want to overcommit.
Look, he can do this a lot of times like this. And pick him up, don't lose him, don't lose him.
No, he did not do that right.
He only lost one and he killed like 8 Zerglings. I think you gotta at some point be okay with that. Okay,
All right,
gets
he's
4
picked up
more.
Now, I think this is a mistake if these Lings and Banes come up here.
Yeah, if they fight a planetary, you can't do
No,
that. You can't do that.
More Lings are being produced. There's a Spore. Like we were saying, you just don't want the Medivacs to have the ability to heal up as easily over here. I don't know. I think that Zerg... Yeah, it's going to have enough to drive that away.
Hold on, though. Four Marines over here now. Oh, Ling Bane.
No.
51 Banes.
I think Kira's done. I think RagnaroK's played a pretty good game here. He's just not watching this.
Yeah.
Terran's trying to come back in the game. I don't think this is going to work.
No, it certainly should not.
Honestly, you could throw down a Spire, take asses, and just win this with mutas.
Well, he does have a Spire halfway done, so good call there.
Yeah, the Planetary makes it impossible to win a ground fight in this area for the Zerg. And even though we saw Banelings blowing up Planetaries in the previous game, and we have Lings and Banelings in this game, economically the situation couldn't be more different.
He would love for him to run his Banes into that Planetary right now.
Yeah, no, that would be the dream. But when mutas come out, keep in mind the eBay was destroyed. It was behind the mineral patch at the natural. So when Mutalisks come into play, and I don't know, maybe there's going to be bunkers made behind the mineral patches, but right now it just doesn't look like, if you're able to get as many Mutalisks as there are Marines, this game should just become a loss for the Terran.
Yeah. I think basically if you just follow the Medivacs with a group of Lings and chase them with the mutas, he has to fly back to his planetary because that's the only place that he can have a chance of holding, and then it's pretty much game over. +1 melee on the way. RagnaroK giving him the benefit of the doubt there.
I like the nod to the upgrades, like this will be important later on.
If the game
Not every
continues.
player does that.
Yeah.
A lot of players would just be like, okay, we're just going to hyper commit into this.
Totally. One more muta.
He's going back into development, and I think this is the end. I actually kind of want this to go on for longer, but I don't think it actually can.
Yeah. A few Marines here trying to push the mutas back. Obviously, the mutas with no upgrades. The Marines have 1-1.
Yeah. But you can get mutas at a rate that is almost comparable to how fast they're making Marines right now.
Sure, yeah.
Cure is microing his heart out right now. One of the Medivacs goes down. Again, no starport in this game.
5 more mutas are on the way. He's going to be able to just kill him with mutas.
Yeah, he'll snowball it pretty soon here.
Yeah, once we have like 10 mutas, you can actually target the Marines down.
Yeah, armor becomes less of a factor. Oh! That attack upgrade's going to finish Artosis. I can't believe the game has been the way it's been so far. Again, really one of my favorite games so far this season. Like, we had such a cool opening from the Terran to push out, and then the response for the Zerg to basically do the counter attack.
Well, that was like a very smart move from RagnaroK, because like I haven't seen that play from Cure, from anyone ever, what he did, but that looked so cool. It was so much pressure. It doesn't look like something you could just do every game, but it caught him off guard. It was great. Ooh, this is...
Yeah,
he is making that bunker that you were talking about.
Yeah, there's the bunker. Watch out, mutas. Here comes a counterattack, but there's too many Banes, right? I mean, GG. Truly a GG at that.
That was a very cool game. Very cool game.
I think this actually could still be close. That game looked a lot better. RagnaroK with very sharp decision making, though.
Yeah. Like if he doesn't do that, I think the army that Kier has still beats all of his units together. Like it seemed like Kier had a very clear timing there, but the Baneling bust, and it was the double Baneling bust, right? You need enough Banelings to bust the first depots and then the second depots. Because if he can't get into the main there, then the reinforcements are going to whittle that down enough that Kier clearly wins. I can't believe, though, that it was literally one Marine shot from killing the layer in the main. I think he actually might win if he kills that off.
He knew. He had to know.
No, I don't think so. The graphics on the Zerg buildings are not as clear as some of the other ones as to how much damage I feel like.
Well, that's wild to me.
One Marine hit? Like, how can't you get one Marine hit?
That's a good question. Romanticize for map 3. Let's see if Kier can come back or if RagnaroK closes this out.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Cure. Alpha X. RagnaroK.
So we've had, honestly, a pretty awesome build from Kier. I do feel like that's a build, if you brought that out a couple times, Zergs would wreck you.
Yeah.
But if you pull that out as your wild card.
Now, if you figure out what's going on, there's no way that is anywhere nearly as
there's nowhere that's safe to be on the map with.
Because it really seemed like he was trying to counter quick 2 medevacs, but what it was a frightening amount of Marines that slowed the drone production, and then he followed it up with a solid push.
Yeah.
It was very cool. I'm impressed with that cool play.
It's so weird to think about. It makes me think of pre-Brood War, when it was like what they call vanilla StarCraft, of Marines that didn't have medics. It was just stim, which we never had in StarCraft 2, but that was always a funny thing because you could stim and probably win a fight unless they ran away.
Yes.
And in which case you damaged yourself.
Yeah, I remember when I first started playing StarCraft, I actually thought stim was a bad upgrade. I always got range.
I did too. I thought, well, this is a foolish
Why would you
upgrade
hurt
to get.
yourself? There's no long-term potential in that.
Yeah,
we all know games should just go a long time.
There was a lot of bunkers made back then. So in this game, we got to see what Kier is going to be doing. Generally speaking, unless the Zerg goes completely insane, like Rogue in our finals, usually the Zerg is the passive one trying to react and stop the Terran. Terran is trying to push and close the game out, and the Zerg is trying to tech up to an unstoppable, rate.
Nice little drone pick there.
Yeah, that was great.
Factory this time. It's Reaper on top of his stuff today.
Yeah, not often we can say that in some of these games.
Quick starport coming up here for Kier before any third CC.
So he's got a queen pushing up here to the third. He wants to just absolutely confirm that he's going to get to keep that.
Third base goes down. Overlord speed on the way very quickly. Looks like he does not want to get caught off guard by another crazy Kier build.
Yeah, well, I think this is, especially when you see Kier do a build like that, you go, oh, you are pretty prepared right now. I should really just make sure you're not doing anything weird, because the prep for that build was good. The decision-making for the first build, which, by the way, is a very run-of-the-mill TVZ build. That build's been around forever. Decision-making was a little bit off.
Sure.
So I think he's saying, if I scout this, I see what he's doing, I can stop it.
This game, the build from Kier looking much more like game 1. Overlord getting into position right now for that scout coming up as Overlord speed's about to finish. There it is.
So this is really, in a lot of ways so far, mirroring what happened in Game 1, at least as far as development goes. We don't have a third CC yet, right?
No, not yet,
Not
but you
yet.
should be starting it pretty soon if it's going to really mirror Game 1.
Just floating 400 minerals.
There it is.
There it is. And so, I guess the only important question to ask for now is, will Cure push prematurely like the last game? Because that's what was weird about the last game. Was that he came out and it's like, I mean, it's always possible, man, that the Zerg is a little bit greedy and cuts too many corners. That does happen, especially at the highest level.
Yeah.
And then you have a weird play like that that does punish that.
Yeah. Well, his build would have punished, I guess, if he went 1-1, Spire, and then Baneling speed. I think it would have punished that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it looks like RagnaroK is doing basically the same thing as Game 1. He has his Baneling Nest timed out really well to get speed right away as layers just finished.
It's smart. You don't have to make the Banelings right away, but to get the upgrade.
Yeah.
There really is a before and after for Baneling speed.
Oh, yeah.
And for like the whole way the game is treated.
It's one of the most important things to take into consideration here in this matchup is like, when do you want to actually start your Baneling speed? You should start it right now. So, there it is. All right, Banshee's coming, but an Overseer right on top of him here with that speed upgrade. Just uncloaks, turns around. It's the right move, I think.
That Overlord following him around like an annoying fat kid with sticky hands. Asking if they know about anime. They're like, oh man.
They just can't find a way in at all.
There's no way. Look at the setup with the
defense.
Evos. Damn.
Yeah, the 4 Queens making a wall there as well. Just perfect SimCity. The Overlord speed on that Overseer really helping as well. Look at this, he's dropping creep on the third. Damn, RagnaroK.
He's everywhere, man. He's looking great.
He's playing great tonight, seriously. I don't even feel like Cure's playing that bad. It's just RagnaroK is... He's on fire.
So the 4th base comes into development. We don't have that push yet. For the Terran, who's on the 3rd base now, which I think is good, by the way, because that seemed to be the problem that happened last time. There's no tanks, is there? So it's just Widow Mines.
Yeah, you're actually right about that. You didn't make a single tank.
I think I decided somewhere in the back of my head he was just making tanks this whole time.
I feel like you always see at least one tank, but
yeah, there's none.
Yeah, I guess
not
not
a
this
tank
time.
has been made so far.
Well, Cure is really, he's streamlined very well into 2-2 here. 1-1 just now starting for RagnaroK. As his mutas out there, not really doing very much. Not yet, at least. So yeah, it's definitely a slightly different play here from Cure, who is adding his 2nd factory reasonably quickly. Finally gets those Banshees in. Where's the Overseer now?
They ghosted him. They finally got away from him. But look, this is going to be, what, about 9 kills here? This is pretty good, man.
Dude, that's pretty good for 2 Banshees right now when mutas are out. You weren't going to get better than that.
No, and yeah, once the mutas are in the game, the Banshees no longer have the same function anymore. So to suicide them on top of the drones is definitely a good play.
Mutas coming across. Oh, the mines. Ooh, gets them. As annoying as he can with this harassment. Drilling Claws on the way. A Thor going to be popping out as well. 2-2 starts very quickly.
Damn, they kill it instamorph.
Wow.
There's something about that I just saw there.
It's like synchronized swimming.
Yeah. They were like K-pop dancers there. Yeah. Like they were all completely in sync. Now, this is just straight up Ling Bane Muta. This is where probably the strongest comp in mid-game for Zerg. I don't know how Rogue is able to make Roaches do what he does, but generally speaking, this is the comp that you just win fights with.
Muta's not really getting as much done as I think he would hope here. 1-1, finishing up finally. Gonna get that +2 carapace right away. Pretty good creep spread overall. But Kier, I definitely feel like he's in much better shape than game 1.
Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis.
Right.
I think he's definitely in better condition. I think the mines are a much better way to play this. I think if you go tanks against Ling Muta Bane, you're going to lose.
Tough. Yeah, it's very tough to pull that off.
You get caught out of position, you could just smash. But with having the
tank in theory feels good against the Banes, but in practice it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't pan out as
well.
well.
Usually can't get to where it needs to be. Ooh, very good player by RagnaroK, just identifying there's a mine there, goes into punish. The Bane's coming with a counterattack, and there is no planetary here to help defend.
Quite annoying indeed.
That's funny. Just dives on top of the
so maybe
bunker.
A future harassment.
Yeah.
Those Banelings sacrificing for their children in the future. Okay, so look, 2-2 is just finishing, right? We just had +2 finish, and +2 armor is just about to finish here. And this is something we were talking about in game number 1. Look at Kier's supply here. He didn't waste 2 armies, so he's just about maxed with this 2-2. So this actually creates for him a really nice timing where he's up 2 upgrades, and he's got as strong an army as he can get right now without losing units.
Right.
So he really does need to move out at this point. He's kind of set this up nicely for himself, I think. It's going to come down pretty heavily to execution. I doubt he's going to kill RagnaroK. RagnaroK has 58 Banes right now, more on the way.
The hold on. He gonna actually commit onto this. The wall in the bottom at the 3rd, it's good, but this is probably unintentionally gonna make the bottom left location for pushes more quiet. You'll see this sometimes with Terrans. They'll kind of lock off a place.
Okay.
And they feel safe from counterattacks, but conversely, it makes it a little bit more comfortable
expand
for
to the north for his 4th.
Right. Right.
But he might want to attack towards bottom left.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's going to happen, but I do want to point it out because it may become a theme here. All right. There's one thing we hate, it's bunkers.
Depots as well. That feeling is mutual.
So Kier's up on 4 bases, looking pretty good, honestly. There's plenty more map to take here, though, for RagnaroK. I think RagnaroK's mission to grow into the bottom left, it started, but I don't think he wants more bases than that. I think he needs to soak up the resources as quickly as possible from there. Those are going to be some of the weaker points, maybe. But in the top center is plenty other places to grow into.
And he is moving up there right now. There's not that much creep up there, so seems all right. Ultra's Cavern on the way, 3-3 and Adrenaline as well.
Oh, there's just nothing here. And
yeah, Baneling's going to roll through that easily.
Okay, the bunker is wiped, the CC is lifted, and the Banes are going to keep going forward here, and the SCVs are actually not moving.
Didn't expect him to go that deep.
Oh, it's almost weird. They're like going past SCVs to get other SCVs.
They're very picky about which
They truly
SCVs.
hate SCVs so much. The only thing to save one SCV from being killed is the Banes only seeing another SCV on the map.
Either that or they have a very peculiar taste. I only like SCVs at the natural.
They look at an SCV that looks even happier than that one, and like, we got to kill that one.
3-3 going to be finishing here just momentarily. Muta's harassing on the side. 90 drones right now for RagnaroK.
Ooh, good pull away. A lot of patience being shown here by RagnaroK. When you see them set up the Widow Mines, this is going to be insane. If he actually stops armor level 3.
I don't think he will.
Good save.
Yeah, you do not want that going right. That takes a long time.
When he sees the Widow Mines burrow, he just pulls back.
Attacking up to 12 o'clock. Easy cancel there, forced. A lot of ultras coming out now. I think RagnaroK wants to buy a little bit of time. I don't think he wants an engagement before he gets that 3-3 into Chitinous. A lot of command centers going on. 5 CCs going on. All right. Kier did learn something from Maru, that's for sure.
Time to automate the mining, Artosis. It's all mules taking SCV jobs here. Okay, there might be enough Banelings in this game that you can hit every location. Here we go.
Yeah, that is a lot of Banes coming in with these ultras. Not the most efficient that I've ever seen, that's for sure. Oh, well, never mind.
There it is. Spoke too soon.
Yeah, enough banelings got in there.
You were right before those banes fully connected. And now they're going to hit these workers.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. A dozen. And this is taken out.
RagnaroK. Oh, my God. So many banelings coming in now to this planetary at the 4th base. Going to take that out as well.
Banelings destroying the planetary because it's in the way of the other banelings to kill the SCVs. It's okay. He's got 3 more command centers making.
Well, they figured out that's where the SCVs are made. They're like, what?
Get
to the root of the problem.
You have these new command centers. The other ones were the stunt doubles. These are the real command centers. Kier's going to come back.
RagnaroK right now with a 5K, 1K ping, continuing to roll in here. Going to be able to take out this morphing planetary as well. Has to lift it off and cancel. Barely any health left over.
Oh my God, it lives.
Just barely so. But corruptors are on the way, so next time it won't.
Yeah.
The 4 mutas.
But building armor is going to complete Artosis.
There you go. It's important.
Now the muta's going to try to cause a distraction here. RagnaroK, a lot of balls here. Morphing Banes just outside of the Terran's position. RagnaroK's going to regroup again. Oh yeah, RagnaroK needs to be careful because the Terran has actually maxed out now. This is an army you need to respect.
Looks like those, just the mutas trying to be annoying as they can.
One muta in a dream over there.
Now, Kier has a ridiculously large army. 152 army supply to 95 right now.
I like all of his medevacs over a few Marines down there, and then 1 medevac over all the Marines at the top.
Yeah, it's a good split.
Yeah, here we go. Here's where there's more medevacs than Marines.
Look at this minefield. He's got to pull back into this. Oh my God, this could be crazy. Everything's going to explode, but how well for each side?
Things are exploding, Artosis.
Yeah.
That's my play-by-play.
The Corruptors trying to pick off some of these medevacs, but get pulled back. RagnaroK clears it, stays maxed out. Kier with almost no money left. Wow, this muta really going to town. He's in a base trade all his own.
Okay, so we got to watch the 3 o'clock spot here, and both the bases there at that. Dude, he just morphs like right there. Can't you just
taunting him?
Do this back at home. He's going to attack up in here. That'll force a lift.
All right, here we go. The gigantic flank. Not as many Banes in this one.
Oh,
so
the
with the
Marauder wall's
planetary,
pretty sick.
Yeah, it might not work out as well here. Let's see, he's got to repair that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Well, yeah, getting
there
a little bit
command
less
center
efficient.
there.
Thing is, RagnaroK stays maxed, and Kier absolutely does not.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is even when Kier trades,
he doesn't even have
well
eBay left anymore.
RagnaroK is just buying his way out of these problems.
He is. Greater Spire on the way. Lings, Banes, Ultras. Decent mines out there, but just turns around. 93 workers to 41.
Okay, another attack over here into the center right. I mean, Kier is barely hanging on. There is something to counterattack in the bottom as well. We don't have a shot of it, but let's take a look at what happens here first. Again, Kier barely hanging on with inferior supply by quite a bit. I think the way these units are attacking, there's actually a small chance Terran holds the fight.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh, with the Corruptors coming in, this could get a lot worse.
What about Corruptor Barb? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say that could have helped to finish it off, but the Corruptors instead will kill all the flying units. The planetary is gone.
Terran now down to a measly 3 bases. GG, RagnaroK 3-0s.
Well, I didn't expect a 3-0 out of RagnaroK, but I got to say, I think he played very, very, very well, and I don't even feel like Kier played poorly. I think he actually played a pretty good series, but
I think you're
RagnaroK
right.
was on top of everything. Like, I think especially Series 2, Game 2, that counterattack really saved him.
Yeah, I think Kier improved a lot after each game, but, you know, ultimately, RagnaroK just had a better handle on the matchup, and I think RagnaroK was simply put a better player than Kier, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think he looked fantastic. I'm excited to see him in the round 16 now, because that looks like the in-shape RagnaroK that we were talking about that's been off and on.
We're going to go to an interview now see how RagnaroK's feeling. He has qualified for Season 2 of the GSL Code S.
RagnaroK defeats RagnaroK defeats Cure 3-0 and he moves on. Congratulations. Thank you. This is your round of 16 after 4 seasons. How do you feel, RagnaroK?
저도 오늘 3대0으로 이길 거라고 진짜 상상을
Well, I really didn't expect to win 3-0 today. So you know, I'm kind of startled, but you know, I feel really happy at the same time.
신이범 선수가 웃는 모습도 지금 1년 만에 보는
You know, I think it's been like a year since I saw you last smiling, RagnaroK.
진짜로 제가 작년
Honestly,
한번 가고 나서 계속 슈퍼랑
last year, you know, I went to the round of 16, but ever since then, you know, my performance hasn't been that good. I was always confident in my skills, but you know, things always didn't turn out good. So you know, that's why my confidence level dropped a lot. And last season, when I played against Hurricane, you know, I lost at the time, but Hurricane is a player who doesn't practice much. So, you know, that time was a hard time for me. So, you know, I was really disappointed in myself, and I was really embarrassed at the time. So, you know, it's been really hard to stream or carry on my YouTube videos because of the stress that I got. But today I wanted to win, and that's why I tried so hard. Well, RagnaroK, you did come back really well today. In the second game, there are a lot of skirmishes going on. Had Cure destroyed your lair, what would the scenario be? Well, if he did destroy my lair, I think I still would have won, to be honest. But then my Mutalisk would have been late, and I think Terran would have had more chances to win. But at the end of the day, I don't think I would have lost that game. But that was my first time seeing such a view. And RagnaroK, you do acquire a 3-0 perfect win against Cure, and now you move on to round of 16. The round of 16, there's the group nomination, the infamous group nomination. If Maru picks you, RagnaroK, what are you gonna do? Well, recently I've been having some conversation with the pro gamers. And Innovation actually jokingly told me that he's gonna pick me. So I hope he does. I'm gonna have faith in Innovation. And RagnaroK, this is a round of 16 in such a long time. Anything you want to say before you go? Well, like I said before, you know, I was embarrassed with my performance in the last year. And you know, I know my fans, regardless of my poor performance, they always root for me, so I'm really grateful to them. But for me, it's been really hard for the past seasons. So my confidence has decreased a lot. But this time, I'm gonna try really hard and make good performance on stage. Well, hope you keep your confidence up, RagnaroK. Once again, congratulations on your advancement. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Congrats again. Yeah, RagnaroK. Who knows what the future holds for this guy? I've always said a lot of our players are late bloomers. RTS ages better over time, and so let's see where he goes.
I think he played really quite well there against Cure. I'm not sure who's going to pick him up during group nomination, but I think you've got to think twice after watching those games. That was some very solid macro plays.
Yeah, if I was a Terran player, he wouldn't be the first on my list.
His defense game 3 also was perfect. Yeah. He had like perfect defense against harassment.
He grew really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't think Cure made any major mistakes in game 3.
Yeah.
I think game 1 was bumpy, but he redeemed himself. Game 2 was risky, and sometimes risks don't work out. But Percival with the Sailor hat.
I love it. Well, he's the youngest player, right? So it makes sense. That is these are the two best matches in my opinion. I'm glad we saved them for the last day. 4GG versus Percival, the old versus the new, and then Parting versus Cess, two players that are absolutely top 16 material and top 8 material, top 4 material. One of them doesn't get to play in Code S.
Pretty crazy. And after that, on that very night, we're going to have the group selections. So, don't turn off the stream.
Yeah.
And then we have that next Thursday off, and then we come back with the full season, starting with the round of 16 of the GSL Code S.
And of course, we will have live audiences once again. Tickets go on sale tomorrow for that.
Tomorrow at what time?
5 p.m. KST.
5 p.m. KST. There's only 30 seats. You can only buy up to 2 tickets, so you need to be really, really fast. It's only $5, by the way.
Yeah, only $5. That's just to make sure you're serious about it.
Oh, and you need to bring your ID.
Yes.
To
you have
prove
to
that
bring
it's you.
a photo ID.
Yeah.
It's important to pick up your tickets. Yeah.
What?
Well, I just like if you don't bring your photo ID, if you don't bring your photo ID and you walk up, yeah, that would be. It's like I walk in, I'm like, yes, I'm 2 tickets for Mr.
My
Kim,
name
please.
is Joe Smith. Yeah. Your tables are right over here, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely bring ID. Definitely try to get the ticket on time. Do not add us if you want to get in. We can't do anything.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun to have the audience back. I'm super stoked for the matches here on Monday. I'm really excited for Percival versus 4GG, man. That's going to be so much fun. Like 4GG, he's since he's been back
every
around.
day.
Yeah, no, he streams a lot right now. He's a great personality, great player. He was in KSL a couple years ago for StarCraft 1. Here he is. He's making it into GSL. It's like I never even know which game he's professional at a given time.
He's active in both the StarCrafts and very good. And we'll see how he performs here. Percival, of course, looking very good. Very exciting to have some new blood injected into our scene.
Yeah. He's the fastest riser in Korea, the player with the most potential out here. Most of the pros agree upon.
Right.
Except maybe Dark, who I heard hates him. So I almost hope that he gets in so that they can be in the same group and we can have some drama. But I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is
you hear
either.
these things, but
we can start the rumors right here, right now, where everybody's watching.
Tasteless hates him too.
I hate him too. I can't stand him. It comes out of my casting.
Yeah, but it's going to be a super exciting day on Monday. Can't wait for that.
Yes, and I don't have anything else to say. I don't know when we can close the show, but this has been fun.
It was a
Code
quick day.
But it's good having best of fives back early on. I think there was some redundancy with the round of 32 that took forever, and then the round of 16 was essentially before the same formula. I like the way they've changed it here now. Season 1 was great. Season 2 going to be even better.
Yes, indeed. And Season 3, who even knows? It's going to be way worse than Season 1.
And what if we do the special moves where we unlock the hidden Season 4?
Well, actually, I mean,
the bonus content.
With some people like coming out of military and everything, like Classic, for instance.
Yeah.
Season 3 might actually be the most exciting one yet.
Yeah,
although we are losing players, man.
It was weird when we had the first few players go to the military, but now they're coming back, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's not actually that long for them to do their service. And GSL's still here.
Yeah, it seems like it just always will be. It's like, can you imagine, Tasteless, just how gray our hair is going to be when Percival gets back from the military?
That's right.
That's
We're
like
be
10 years
old.
out from now.
We're going to be super old by then. We're going to have diapers we wear when we cast. We can't get to the bathroom in time. That's all the time we have. Guys, we love you. We will see you on Monday. Go get those tickets. Good luck. It's going to be hard to get them. Bye-bye.